Unforgettable 920.
The following sports broadcast is an exclusive presentation of the Unforgettable 920 KSHO. Bulldogs basketball is on the air. Tonight's West Albany game is brought to you by Economy Supply Building Center, City and Suburban Electric, Albany Grocery Outlet, Mark Thomas Motors, Courtesy Corner Shell, H&R Block, Stavros Auto Services, Willamette Community Bank, Lassen RV, J&J Electric, Les Schwab Tires of Albany, Lynn Lanes, Brass Plumbing, Crabtree Automotive, Power Honda, Figaro's, Albany Athletic Club, Linco Federal Credit Union, Burgerville, Now Builders, Wilson Motors, and by Lynn Benton Tractor. Now get ready for Bulldogs basketball. With all the action, here are Radio Ryan and Wally Ordeman live on 920 KSHO.
To Silverton High School. It is part two of the Mid-Willamette Conference season. Second half underway here tonight. And the first rematch of the season for West Albany against perhaps their toughest opponent of the season, the Silverton Foxes tonight, playing host to the West Albany Bulldogs on KSHO. Again, a pleasant good evening to you. Ryan Pitts, Wally Ordeman, and Jeff Kiter here with you tonight. West Albany, Wally, is trying for something we've referred to several times this season, a signature victory. They are 5-2 in Mid-Willamette Conference play, 11-6 overall. The team they play tonight is undefeated in the Mid-Willamette Conference, 7-0. They are 13-4 overall. They have won 9 consecutive games. They have looked like one of the best teams in the state of Oregon at times. They have one of the best players in the state of Oregon, no question, in Zach Gangler. This is the night for a Bulldogs signature victory.
Get quality wins, and this certainly would go a long way toward that. Bulldogs on the road here, only losing by 7 to Silverton at home. West Albany, they've been playing very, very well. They've been playing more manly. They've been playing very well on the board, doing a lot of the things that it takes to get these kinds of quality wins. Number 4 in the state against number 6 in the state tonight. It's going to be a good one.
It'd be hard to argue that there's a better matchup anywhere in the state tonight, so it's kind of nice to be able to bring this one to you from what I would still refer to as the new gym here at Silverton High School. A very nice arena, very bright arena, and should be a very good crowd on hand. They continue to file in here tonight as West and Silverton do battle. Now, we've talked long and hard about Zach Gangler. He is now a senior finally for Silverton. This should be the final time that we see him, although I guess if we saw him again and be in the state tournament, that would be okay. But this is probably the final time we'll see Zach Gangler, a very special player, and a kid who didn't play much on Tuesday night against Lebanon. He scored the first 3 points of the game. It was a 2-point shot and free throw. He came out, apparently with an injury, reversed it for the remainder of the game. He's wearing a brace on that right ankle. You can see that here. When right, he's terrific. When not right, he's still pretty darn good.
Gangler's a special talent. He does so much without the ball. He gets himself loose. You and I talked on the way up here about all the skills that he has. He's an excellent shooter from the outside. In fact, during warm-ups, I've been kind of keyed in on him. I don't think he's missed yet.
No, there's one.
Okay, there's one. So, but he guides the team so well. He gets everybody in formation properly, and then he moves without the ball. He's one of these point guards that will get rid of the ball knowing that if he moves himself, he's likely to get that ball back. He's a special talent. He gets himself to windows and gives himself opportunities to score. Probably one of the highest scoring point guards in the state, I would think. Just, a lot of times you think the point guard position, you're not going to get a lot of points. You're distributing. You're going to have more assists than points. Zach Gangler's the total package. He's going to get his points, and he's going to dish out a lot of assists, too. Almost every play on this basketball floor offensively for Silverton will run through Zach Gangler.
But he will get a lot of help. As I mentioned, he only scored those 3 points on Tuesday against Lebanon, and the Foxes still beat Lebanon by 43 points. And one of the main reasons for that is the help that Zach Gangler has. Among others, Toby Roth, another senior. There are many Roths. There's Toby Roth, who is on the varsity roster. There's Sam Roth on the JV roster. There's Grant Roth on the freshman roster. Steve Roth, their father, is the JV coach. There's Roth's IGA, is the main market here in Silverton. I think David Lee Roth may sing the national anthem tonight. You get the picture. There's a lot of Roths in this program. And what was Toby's big brother's name that played here just a couple of years ago? Suddenly that name is escaping me. But there have been a lot of Roths to come through this program. Toby's as good as any of them.
Yeah, he really is. A pure shooter from the outside. He's also a slasher. He'll get to the rim He's so good because you can't overplay him on the top because he'll backdoor you, and Zach Engler will find him. A lot of weapons on this team, you're right. But Roth, he's a special talent, and he can tear it up for you. There are a lot of players on this Silverton squad that can come after you and can light it up at any moment. Last year was Jonas Dahl that we got to know up close and personal there at West Albany as he got hot against the Bulldogs during one game. So many weapons. They run their stuff very efficiently.
I think it was Daniel Roth was the name of the older Roth. That suddenly sticks into my head. Well, let's talk about West Albany since they are the team that we have focused on tonight. The Bulldogs are on a winning streak of their own, 4 consecutive and 5 of 6 since the 7-point loss to Silverton about 3.5 weeks ago. They have gone to 5-2 in the Mid-Willamette Conference, which matches their best midway start in conference play in any of the years that the Mid-Willamette Conference has been in effect. This is now year number 7. You could easily make the argument that those 5 wins have been teams that they should beat. This is one tonight that you would argue maybe they should not beat. But West has taken care of business, and that's what the good teams need to do. They have won, and they've won easily against the lower-ranked teams in the league.
Yeah, they've played really well, too. It's one thing to win ugly, but West Albany has done some things over the course of the last 4 games that just give you a good feeling coming into a game like this. And that is primarily they have become a very good rebounding team. Now, granted, you're absolutely right. Playing some teams that maybe don't have quite the talent as Silverton or a Crescent Valley, but these West Albany Bulldogs, I think we've seen a lot about their character as they rebounded from that tough loss to Crescent Valley, and they're doing a lot of the things right that help you win basketball games.
Wins by 15, by 21, by 17, and by 11 in their last 4 games. So West Albany is winning comfortably. They will try and keep that roll going, and they could score themselves a big win tonight if they can take care of business on the road at Silverton. The number 6 ranked Bulldogs, the number 4 ranked Foxes coming your way. About 10 minutes from tip-off, we're going to take a timeout and continue along in 920 KSHO.
If you'd like to do it yourself or need helpful advice doing it, your neighborhood Ace Hardware and Contractor Center can help. Economy Supply Building Center has been that helpful place for over 58 years. Economy Supply Building Center, where Highway 34 becomes Tangent Street in Lebanon.
Need some electrical work in your home? Just seems like too small of a job to call the pros. No matter what the job, call City and...
Hey guys, we're having a bad connection. You want to hang up and dial back? Did you hear that? Okay, you're back.
Job is too big or too small for Lassen RV in Albany, where friends send their friends.
Join the fun at the Albany Athletic Club. Group fitness classes from low-impact dance to traditional circuit training, plus racquetball and more. Watch your waistline shrink and your health improve every day. Start now at the Albany Athletic Club on Hickory next to Tom's Garden Center.
Unforgettable 920.
Oh, my.
Ryan, go ahead.
Ryan, go ahead, he says. Well, we sound like we have an aircraft taking off in our ears here, so hopefully that's not coming through over the air. But welcome back to Silverton High School. We have started using Skype. If you haven't tuned in recently, we've been using the Skype system throughout the football and now the basketball season. And it is sometimes prone to some connection difficulties, so if we have that this evening, we apologize. We'll do our best to get it squared away. West Albany and Silverton getting set to go here tonight on KSHO. The Foxes 7-0 in league. West Albany at 5-2. The Bulldogs coming off an emotional victory, obviously, in the Civil War on Tuesday night, 66-55 over South Albany, a game that probably, truthfully, was not as close as the final score would indicate. West Albany in control throughout, but the Rebels had a lot of fight. You had Tanner Tibbett lit it up from downtown. He had 24 points. Riley Havlin was terrific. He had 16. But the Bulldogs did enough. And one guy who had a really strong performance, one of his strongest of the year, as he did last year in the Civil War, was Josh Bryant.
Josh Bryant played really well. I thought that he was hungry for rebounds, and those turned into some points for him too. But I really thought he crashed the boards hard. They didn't have an answer for him when West Albany was going to the offensive glass, and he's got such that wide frame. He's an aircraft carrier down there, and really used his positioning well, not only for points to post up, but also on the board. Both ends of the floor is a terrific game by Josh.
3 Bulldogs in double figures on Tuesday. Jalen Schlegel led the way with 16. Nate Sherwood had 15. Josh Bryant had 13. And Nate Sherwood, the junior, I don't even want to say quietly, but, he's going along as kind of the third fiddle. The two seniors for West Albany obviously are going to get the focus of the opposition, Chad Sherwood and Jalen Schlegel. But Nate Sherwood, the junior, has been in double figures now in 6 of the 7 league games, and he's been tremendous.
He really has. And I'm starting to see a little more out of Nate as far as dribble penetration, trying to get himself to the rim, and he has dedicated himself to the rebound. When you go 6'8", 6'8", 6'6", you've got to get some of those big bodies in there. And I think Nate has taken it upon himself now to go in there and crash the boards a little bit more. But Nate's such a smart player. He will not take shots that are unadvisable. He's playing a very smart and efficient offensive side, and we know what he can do defensively. You get him up top in that 1-3-1, or you get him down low, one-on-one defender. He's very good for a man his size and draws a lot of charges. He just really is the total package.
Now, remember, if you go back to the first matchup between these two, it happened back on January the 9th. It was the league opener at West Albany. The Bulldogs got off to a tremendous start. They got hot right out of the gate. I think it was like 9-2 to start the game. West was just on fire. Silverton called a timeout and immediately calmed things down. And I think the Foxes, by the end of the first quarter, were up by a point. And they were in control for much of that game. Yes, the final margin was 7, but Silverton really, much like West Albany on Tuesday night against South, controlled that game from the end of the first quarter on. What the Bulldogs would like to do tonight, obviously, if they can get off to some sort of a good start, silence what is a big crowd, and continuing to pile in here. This might be the biggest crowd we've seen here at Silverton. To keep them quiet throughout the night obviously would be a huge factor.
Yeah, it really would, and West Albany can go a long way toward doing that with getting that hot start. West can do that. We know that West Albany, they're a very good defensive team, and offensively, if they continue to do their stuff and get a couple of quick buckets, maybe a steal early, they can silence this crowd. You know that they're rabid right now. They've got the number 4 team in the state, so rightfully so. And they think this group is going to do something special in the postseason. They know that this is the big game tonight. They know what West can do. West has played Silverton the toughest of any of the league opponents so far in the season. This is one they've had circled on their schedule. And
we mentioned this in the first matchup between these two, but the West guys know Zach Gangler off this floor as well. They've played together in some AAU tournaments and are pretty familiar with what he can do, and probably a little bit tired of seeing him get the upper hand in the rivalry. Silverton has won 3 straight in this matchup. They've actually won now 6 of 7 against West Albany. So the Bulldogs trying to right the ship here tonight at Silverton. We're going to step away for a timeout. Counting you down to tip-off now, about 4.5 minutes away. We'll return in a moment to 920 KSHO.
You will come out a winner at Power Honda. Their talented staff will show you how easy it is to get the vehicle you want and the payment you need. Check out mypowerhonda.com. Call 928-0122 or just go in to Power Honda, Highway 20 east of I-5 in Albany, your Honda Superstore.
Albany Burgerville is now featuring the Ham Havarti Sandwich, all natural Diamond Ranch ham layered with melted Havarti cheese on a toasted hoagie roll and the chocolate hazelnut milkshake. Pick up an Albany Burgerville rewards card now. Cash for every dollar spent. Albany Burgerville, fresh, local, sustainable.
We're Linco Federal Credit Union. Keep your money in Linn County with Linco Federal Credit Union. Enjoy a visit with one of our friendly staff at a neighborhood branch near you today. Linco Federal Credit Union in Albany, Lebanon, and Sweet Home. In Linn, you're in.
Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market across from the Heritage Mall has Senior Day, the first Tuesday of every month. $2 off every purchase of $15 or more. Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. 100% satisfaction guaranteed across from the Heritage Mall with bargains on the brands you trust.
920 KSHO.
Back at Silverton High School here, getting set for tip-off between West Albany and Silverton tonight. Ryan Pitts, Wally Ordeman, and Jeff Kiter. Our thanks for you spending your Friday night with us, and we hope for a positive outcome tonight. From a little bit different perspective here at Silverton, we're basically right down at floor level in about the second row of the bleachers, right behind the West Albany bench. Usually we're more centrally located here, a little bit down to our right. We want good things to happen tonight for West Albany, obviously, but if the Bulldogs' entire bench stands at any point, we're in big trouble. We're not going to be able to see the floor.
We might have to stand ourselves. Maybe that's why I've got the vantage point that I do right now, so I can easily stand. You're right, and we will see that. We hope to see that over the course of this game, where West Albany, the bench, gets them pumped up and is on their feet.
What's a little bit strange in the matchup between these two teams, they've played 13 times in Mid-Willamette Conference play, and Silverton has won 9 of the 13. But of those 13 games, Wally, only 6 have been decided by single digits. There have been some big-time blowouts in this rivalry. West got Silverton 2 years ago by 24 at West Albany High School. Silverton won here last year by 19. Silverton won here by 32 3 years ago. There have been some big-time blowouts in the series for two teams that have really kind of jockeyed, near the top of league play. Silverton's been tremendous, obviously, but you wouldn't expect that many one-sided matchups.
No, you really wouldn't. And the thing about Silverton, Ryan, is they run such an efficient offense that they can force you into mistakes at your end and then come down and just work clock and work for the shot that they want. A lot of teams that you see, they're going to take the first available shot. You don't always see that from Silverton. They're looking for the best shot, not necessarily the first shot, and they're very disciplined about it, and it's been a good recipe for the Foxes.
Fox's best finish back in the 2009-2010 season. They were 25-3 overall, 13-1 in the Mid-Willamette. They finished third place in the state of Oregon. And I believe that was the game where they beat Crescent Valley in the third place game, a game that was like 21-2 or something at halftime. It was something crazy, but Silverton really was able to shut down Crescent Valley that night. They were one of the best teams in the state, no question. And they're trying to rise back to that level this year, undefeated through the first half of league play. And maybe their most impressive win by score, that 26-point win over Corvallis on January the 23rd, but then West followed that up by beating Corvallis by 17, and that game was played at Corvallis. So who knows? We're going to find out here before too long tonight. Again, it is a packed house here at Silverton, and I am impressed because when we were here for the JV game, there weren't a lot of people here. There weren't many students here. And I thought, boy, this is a big game tonight. They got to get out here. They got to support the team. Well, they've come out, and it's going to get loud. We're going to have our national anthem here, so we'll step away for a break and continue with KSHO.
1979, Crabtree Auto stresses the small stuff when it comes to maintaining your vehicle. An oil change every 3,000 miles is a small thing now, but adds up to big rewards down the road. Crabtree Auto on Hill Street, just south of 9th in Albany.
Now is the time to buy a car at Mark Thomas Motors. 4 generations in the auto business and here to stay. Mark Thomas Motors is big on supporting local events. 3 locations in Albany: Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Hyundai, GMC, Buick, Pontiac. Now is the time to buy a car at Mark Thomas Motors in Albany.
Just like the Bulldogs, Courtesy Corner Shell gives you everything they have every time you drive in. Fast and friendly service, windows always clean. Non-ethanol fuels for small engines, boats, and vintage cars available. You can't beat Courtesy Corner Shell near Queen on Pacific Boulevard. They'll be happy to see you.
Lynn Lane's in Lebanon, home of the best burger in town.
The place to bowl is Lynn Lane's Bowling Center on South Main Road in Lebanon. And the people are real nice. And the Head Pin Restaurant, I'd go there even if the bowling alley wasn't attached.
Good family fun. Bowling.
America's best music and the news you need. This is 920 KSHO, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.
Well, not the most briskly paced version of the national anthem, but nicely done here by the Silverton Marching Band. And they're
just how do you direct a band while playing?
I was just going to say that. You don't see a lot of band directors who actually hold a trumpet while they conduct the national anthem, but the band director here at Silverton did just that. A reminder, before, during, or after the game in Albany, you can grab a hot and ready $5 pizza at Little Caesars across from the mall on Geary Street, the new and only Little Caesars in Albany. This is one of our longer trips of the year. This in Woodburn, probably pretty close in terms of distance, certainly for me coming from Eugene. But on days like today, this is actually a very nice drive to make, heading east out of Salem. Great view of Mount Hood, a very sunny day. It was not sunny down in Eugene. It was pretty gray, but you get out a little bit sunny. I almost want to be playing football tonight. I'd like to be outside.
I thought you were going to say because of the company in the car.
Well, also, yeah, well, sure, there's that. I thought that kind of went without saying. Always great company, and I appreciate you driving, as I always do.
My pleasure.
Sometimes
you wouldn't want me as a passenger. I'm a lousy passenger.
Sometimes in the fall for football, those heated seats that you have really come in handy. I don't think we're going to need them tonight.
Don't think so either.
West Albany's starting 5 having been introduced, and this is the 5 they've used now for the last several games. Sawyer Reed at the point. He's a 5'10 senior, averaging 4.9 points per game. Joined in the backcourt by Brandon Dixon, the 6'1" senior, averaging 1.4. Jalen Schlegel in the middle, the 6'8" senior, team's leading scorer at 15.6. In the front court, Chad Sherwood, the 6'2" senior wing at 14.2 points per game. And Nate Sherwood, the 6'8", listed as a wing, but we know he's going to play down low. He averages 11.3 as a junior. The Silverton students down to our right forming the tunnel as the Silverton starters being introduced. And we'll try to get them one by one here as they come out. Joe Schaefer is listed at 6'6", 175. They have weights on the roster, which we're not really used to seeing, but Joe Schaefer, rail thin, 6'6", 175 senior. Joined in the backcourt by the guy's name you'll hear plenty tonight, Zach Gangler, 6'2", 175 senior. Trevor Bledsoe in the front court. He is a 6'6", 200-pound senior. The 6'2" senior, number 11, Preston Kirk. He weighs 170. And then Toby Roth, who is a 6'2", 150-pound senior. Also rail thin. There's not a lot of beef on this Silverton roster. Matthew Willis is listed as the heaviest. He's 6'5", 205. Not a lot of big guys, but a very athletic squad of Silverton.
They are, and I'll go back to what I was saying before, that they are so efficient and they know each other so well. A lot of these kids played well, and you see this on any team, but you could just tell they know each other so well. They know where they're going to be and trust each other. They're going to be in the right spots on the floor. They run their stuff very well. They're great with their hands defensively. It's a good basketball team. You have to bring your A game if you're going to beat them.
West Albany hoping to do just that tonight. They are in their traveling dark navy blue uniforms with the gold numbers, the gold trim. And Silverton has gone to more of a monochromatic look, a white with black and silver. No orange, though orange would be one of their official school colors. White jerseys, silver letters, black trim. The tip is controlled by West Albany as Sawyer Reed will bring it to front court. Working at the rim opposite down to the right of us as Reed controls, guarded by Gangler on the opening possession. Working right into the corner for Brandon Dixon. As Dixon, couple dribbles up top to Chad Sherwood, back to the left for Reed, out in the wing. Around a screen from Nate, to the top for Dixon, around the right for Chad. Toby Roth with the defense on Chad as he drives along the baseline, goes up for a tough shot. And it goes loose out of bounds. Last touch by Silverton, partially blocked by Roth, who looked like he might have gotten Chad with the body a little bit.
Boy, really drew a lot of contact there. Chad with a great hang time. It's really difficult to defend that shot when he goes to the rim.
Sawyer Reed in a quick inbounds that will go out of bounds. Last touch by West, off the fingertips of Nate Sherwood. And a turnover gives it to Silverton here in the opening half minute. Zach Gangler gets the first touch as he will bring it up. Brandon Dixon, the initial defensive assignment, as Gangler walks it across the timeline, angling right. Uses a high screen from Bledsoe, bounces it down to the baseline for Schaefer. Quickly into Bledsoe, now back up top for Roth. Clears a little bit of space, fires a three over Jalen Schlegel. Missed it, but got fouled, and he will shoot three. Schlegel trying to close out and at least distract Toby Roth, and he wound up getting him with the body. 3 free throws for Toby Roth.
Yeah, Jalen just took a bad angle on that, and no question that was going to be a foul. Just got a little bit high on his angle there. Roth with the shot, but goes down. Maybe a little bit of an acting job, but Jalen got him, and it's going to be 3 free throws, and misses the first.
Yeah, no good on the first. Roth, very pure shooter. Just the way the ball goes through the net. It's not the most pretty shot in terms of the release, but the results are nice, and he gets 2 of 3. Hit the middle shot, curled in the third. 2-0 Silverton. 45 seconds gone by in the opening quarter. It's Chad Sherwood in front court, looking back door, holds it, now comes straight away to Brandon Dixon, out between the circles, quickly underneath for Jalen Schlegel, right of the lane. Jalen holds it high over his head, doubled, gets inside, goes up through traffic, gets bumped and fouled by Preston Kirk. And 2 free throws for Jalen Schlegel. He was able to split the double.
Yeah, Jalen attracts a lot of attention, Ryan. He got doubled down there at the low block, actually a couple steps out, and then they abandoned the double. Jalen did a good job recognizing that, taking it strong to the hoop, draws the foul, and chance for 2 free throws here.
So Jalen prepares himself. It's the first one on its way, and good. The West Albany JVs shot 1 of 9 from the line in the first half and still wound up winning that game. In the end, I think they won by 5. And Jalen's second free throw up, around, and in. Friendly roll for Jalen. Let's hope it's going to be that kind of night. 2-2. All free throws here in the first minute. Gangler draws a lot of attention in backcourt. Gets it ahead to Bledsoe, who skips it right for Roth. High out on the wing. Straight away now to Gangler. Gangler guarded by Brandon Dixon again here at the start. Goes to Bledsoe, now around to Kirk, just in front of the Bulldog bench on the left. Straight away to Roth. To the right for Gangler. Back around to pick for Roth. Clearing space for 3. That's good. Nicely designed play as they lost Roth behind a screen. He hits a triple, and it's 5-2 Silverton. Chad Sherwood out on the left wing. Now to Dixon. Dixon comes right for Reed. Reed guarded by Gangler around to Nate Sherwood's screen. Flipped it off left for Dixon. Now back out to Chad Sherwood. Rifled in for Nate. Stolen by Gangler. Got right into his hands. Here's Gangler on the run. Right for Roth. Cutting in with a layup. And it's 7-2 Silverton. All 7 for Toby Roth. And a tough start here for the Bulldogs. Down 5 early.
Roth showing some hang time of his own there on that fast break, little transition bucket there.
Reed comes around a high screen. Goes to Chad way out on the left wing. Guarded by Roth. Up to the top for Dixon. Underhands it to Reed. Sawyer will direct the offense. Bouncing it right now into the corner for Nate Sherwood. Nate scanning the floor. Comes back out to Dixon. Dixon skips it left for Reed. And Reed touches it into the left corner for Chad Sherwood. Along the baseline he goes. Into traffic. Doubled. Back up to the top for Dixon. Around to Reed. Into the corner for Nate. Faking the shot. Couldn't get Bledsoe in the air. Drives to the baseline. Drew some contact and will shoot 2 free throws. So Nate got Trevor Bledsoe onto his arm. And it'll be 2 free throws for Nate Sherwood.
It'll be a second-team foul for Silverton here. West Albany looking a little bit, having a lot of difficulty getting open looks. Silverton, we know what they can do defensively. They're outsized by the Bulldogs, but they are very quick to get to their spots defensively. West Albany really having to work the ball hard to try and get good looks at the bucket.
Nate's first free throw rims out. No good. I think I've made the comment against Silverton, maybe more so than any other team, that it sometimes appears as though the Foxes have 6 or 7 defenders out there. The way they move to the ball so quickly. Nate Sherwood good on his second free throw. 7-3 Silverton with 5.5 to go in the first. Gangler feeds Kirk. Kirk up ahead to Schaefer as he comes to front court. Backs it out to Gangler, who will set the offense. Gangler comes around to Bledsoe's screen. Now accelerates left of the lane. Little fadeaway off the window and good from Zach Gangler. Just makes it look so smooth. And he puts in his first field goal. 9-3 Silverton. Dixon in trouble. Comes out to Chad. Lobbed in for Jalen. Got good position. Could not finish. Tipped it up. No. Tipped it again. No. And a foul. And Jalen got popped in the nose. It'll take a moment to collect himself. Going to have some watery eyes as he'll step to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, Jalen, anytime you see him get the ball underneath the bucket, you've got to love his ability to finish. That time, I think, just got his shot altered a little bit. Wasn't able to get it to fall, but ultimately grabbed a couple extra rebounds to pad his stats for the night. But he's going to go to the line here for 2.
He'll try and pad the points from the line. Hit his first 2 free throws and hits that one. Bulldogs making their living at the line here in the first. 4 of 5 so far from the free throw stripe. One more for Jalen on Silverton's third team foul. That was Joe Schaefer's first. Schlegel's second free throw on its way and good. So Jalen 4 of 4 from the line. 9-5 Silverton with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Again, Gangler doubled in backcourt. Gets it to Schaefer. Now to Kirk. And Kirk right back to Gangler, the primary ball handler.
And that's the only double teaming West is doing. All they're trying to do is get it out of Gangler's hands.
Gangler again trying to use a pick, and he carried the ball up top. Lost the handle a little bit, turned it over.
Very rare turnover. I think last time when they played at West, and I haven't looked at it since, he was averaging 3 turnovers a game.
Incredible for somebody whose usage rate, and it's one of the advanced metrics now in basketball, but just so much of the offense going through his hands. Brandon Dixon, hounded by Kirk, works to the left corner, trying to clear some space, bounces it to Reed between the circles. Reed angling right, little head fake with Gangler on him, gets to the right wing, has the ball slapped by Gangler out of bounds on the far side. So the Bulldogs will inbound way down to the right of the Silverton bench with 4:30 to go in the first quarter. Fox is leading 9-5, and the first sub of the game as Josh Bryant will check in here for Brandon Dixon.
West Albany just going to go a little bit bigger here, giving Brandon Dixon a blow. Doing a nice job defensively on Gangler. Going to give himself a little bit of a break.
Reed, he inbounds to Chad Sherwood. Guarded by Roth. It's Chad puts a shoulder into him. Crisscrosses up top, hands it off to Reed. Sawyer Reed pushing left. Goes into the corner for Nate Sherwood. Nate looking in for Bryant. Tried to throw it to Schlegel, and it was tipped and stolen by Roth. Up ahead to Gangler. All the way in on Chad. Little finger roll. That's good from Gangler. 11-5 Silverton. Bulldogs without a field goal here. Down 6 near the midway point of the first quarter. It's Chad straight away for Nate. Left for Reed on the wing. Reed free for a moment. Now looking for some space and comes up to the top for Chad Sherwood. Chad pushing it right of the lane. Scoops it out to Jalen just behind the foul line. This is off to Reed. Sawyer wants to attack. Got Gangler in the air and drew a foul. Will shoot 2 free throws.
Really
Bulldogs,
smart play.
yeah, doing a nice job getting to the line here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I like that what the Bulldogs are doing here. It's 3:46. You're down 6. 3:46 to go here in the first quarter. Bulldogs aren't settling for three-pointers now. They've had a couple open looks, but they're not settling for that. I like the discipline that Wes is showing as Sawyer Reed goes to the line here for 2.
First one in and out from Reed, no good. 4 different Foxes with 1 foul each. As Sawyer Reed, senior point guard at the line. Second one on its way, no good, back rim. Rebound to Schaefer, 11-5 Silverton, 3:42 to go in the first quarter. Gangler brings it up quickly. Zach bounces it with the left hand off to the left wing for Kirk. Kirk right in the middle for Gangler, got free, banks it in off the window. I don't know how he found himself in that big of a window, but Gangler's able to put it in, 13-5 Silverton. It's a pass down low to Schlegel. Now comes up top for Nate. Nate putting it on the deck, splits a double, goes in, missed the shot, hits the floor, no whistle, rebound Silverton. Preston Kirk on the run. Feeds Schaefer on the wing, underhands it to Roth. Roth with Sherwood on him, can't get a shot, comes back out to Gangler. Gangler resetting out near midcourt, comes around a high screen from Bledsoe, goes to the corner for Roth, quickly into Bledsoe on the give and go. Layup is good, and Silverton leads by 10 with 2:58 to go in the first quarter. A timeout taken here by West Albany.
Just simple little give and go. We keeping it here?
Yep, it's 30.
Simple give and go and really nicely done. They had the floor spread. When Silverton came down, they had nobody in the paint, all 5 around the perimeter. That time just a quick pass down to Roth in the corner. Bledsoe, the quick cut down the lane. Nobody stayed with him. Easy bucket for Silverton. Really nicely drawn up.
Nightmarish start here for West Albany. Thank goodness they've been able to get to the line because they can't find themselves any clean looks from the floor. No field goals.
Yeah, really tough. And you want to maintain that discipline at least through the first quarter. Stay with your game plan. You can alter that, maybe take a couple threes here. But you can tell West Albany has dedicated themselves right now in this game. They were going to come out and they weren't going to be firing up the threes unless they were wide open. And you get very few wide open looks against this Silverton team. Very quick defensively, and they get their hands up on you.
Toby Roth came out of the gate with the first 7 for Silverton. Zach Gangler has 6, and that last layup for Bledsoe, the only other points for Silverton. They lead 15-5 with 2:58 to go in the first quarter. And I would say again, remember in the first matchup, when West Albany got off to the hot start, led 9-2 very early on, Silverton called a timeout and got right back in the game. So we'll hope for the same here tonight from West Albany.
West Albany girls up 21-4 after the first quarter there against the Silverton girls.
Chad Sherwood along the baseline, loops it underneath, has it deflected and stolen by Silverton. He's trying to throw through too many hands. Up ahead to Gangler on the wing. Now wants to drive to the baseline and had it deflected into his hands. They blow the whistle. The officials are going to get together, discuss whether it's a travel or just on a deflection. And they're going to say it was deflected, so Silverton will get the ball out of bounds here. Official explaining that to Coach Zimmerman just in front of us. As Ben Engel will come in for the first time here. Chad Sherwood will check out.
Need a defensive stand here. Need to get a couple turnovers on Silverton, turn them into points for the Bulldogs. Got to happen in a hurry. This could get out of hand, get ugly.
Zach Gangler gets it in his hands up top near the midcourt logo, working with the left hand. Comes to Roth on the wing, guarded now by Engel. Try to go into Gangler, deflected into his hands, and back out to Roth. Quickly back to Gangler on the wing. Double team came, then left. Gangler splits through 3 blue jerseys, goes all the way and lays it in.
Traveled too. Boy,
17-5.
Got away with one there.
12-point lead for Silverton. As Ben Engel goes into the right corner for Nate Sherwood. Nate into the middle for Jalen. Down to Josh Bryant. Blocked underneath by Roth. Bryant thought he had a clean layup, and Roth cleared through and blocked it. Silverton with the ball.
Yeah, good weak side defense there by Roth. Nice clean block.
Gangler to Kirk. With under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's all Silverton right now, 17-5. Here's Gangler. Looks for some space. Eyes up as he dribbles up top. Comes to Roth. Roth to Kirk on a little weave on the perimeter. Now to Gangler on the wing. Reed right in his face. Gangler spins away from Reed. Back to the top. Working near the left sideline. Wants to go one-on-one. Crosses over. Gets all the way inside. Dumps it down low for Roth, or Schaefer rather, who lays it in. And it's 19-5. Now this one is getting out of hand here in the first quarter. Bulldogs without a field goal, 1:15 to play in the first. Ben Angle goes right for Reed. Reed around a solid Bryant screen. Comes to the left elbow, on there, hands it out to Nate. Now right back to Reed. Thought about the three. Got Bledsoe in the air. Will fire the three. Couldn't bank it in, and a rebound to Roth. Silverton on the move. Roth racing up the right sideline. Comes to the middle. Whips it under to Kirk. What a look for a layup. 21-5 Silverton. And another timeout taken by West Albany. This is a 30-second break. We'll keep it here again with 52.1 to go in the first. Well, of all the scenarios you could draw up for the game tonight, I'm not sure this is one you had planned.
No, this certainly isn't. It's not what we could have anticipated at all. And right now, what we're seeing from West Albany is a complete defensive breakdown. Silverton's just picking them apart. West Albany looks like they're a half step behind on every single pass that Silverton's making. And they're doing exactly what we said that they would do, and that's they're not looking for the first shot. They've had other opportunities. They're working for the best one, and right now they're getting those shots at the rim.
This is very impressive what Silverton is doing right now, in all honesty. 21-5 Foxes. They are on a 12-0 run, and with 52.1 to go in the first quarter, this is in danger of becoming a very long night here for West.
Well, Ryan, what Silverton does with Gangler up top, you have to pay so much attention to him that it draws your eyes away from the players you're supposed to be defending. It's a very difficult team to defend against.
West goes a little bigger now. Brandon Dixon at the point. Sawyer Reed is out as Nate Sherwood drives through and lays it in. So there's the first field goal for West with about 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. 21-7 Silverton. See if Silverton plays for one. Darren Shryock off the bench, shouting out the play. Silverton holds it up top with Kirk. Now to Gangler. 21 seconds to go in the quarter. Gangler feeds Ian Susic in the game for the first time. Now to Gangler. Working between the legs with the dribble. Oh, it almost looked like he carried the ball. No call. Silverton keeps it alive with 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Underhanded to Gangler. Gangler will fire a two. Missed it. Rebound, Jalen Schlegel. Jalen one dribble. Will heave from three-quarter court. Hit the backboard. No good. And the first quarter will come to an end. Well, the Bulldogs get the final points of the first, but still find themselves in a big hole. At the end of one, it's Silverton 21, West Albany 7. We'll take a break and return to KSHO.
Willamette Community Bank is proud to support local high school sports, music, and scholastic programs. Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, Vice President with Willamette Community Bank. Be part of the team and get behind our schools and our future leaders, serving you with branches in Albany and Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Taking a detour down a gravel road isn't fun for you or your tires. Luckily at Les Schwab, along with great prices, all of our car or pickup tires come with the kind of protection most other places don't give you, like free flat repairs and more. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
The mission of Now Builders is treat every job like it's their only job, no matter how big or small, and they don't stop until their customer is 100% satisfied 100% of the time. Check out their portfolio of fine work at nowbuilders.com. Call Now Builders at 541-926-2858.
Figaro's in Albany now has the ultimate super combo and the ultimate super meat, only $16.99 or $17.99 baked. Albany Figaro's in front of Fred Meyer. And ask about their gluten-free crust. 541-924-9303.
Unforgettable 920.
Now the start of the second quarter begins with a turnover. Silverton working a little quickly, and Zach Gangler lost his balance, going for a ball just in front of the Bulldog bench. Silverton turns it over. Bulldogs in possession, trailing 21-7 here at the outset of the second. Chad Sherwood worked on by Ian Susic just in front of the Foxes bench. Feeds Schlegel, now Dixon, and now to Bryant in the left corner. Bryant to Dixon on the cut, lobs it back out to Jalen. Thought about the three. Got around Zach Gold, drives all the way in through traffic, put it up. No, but a foul, and 2 free throws for Jalen.
Going to be the 15th foul on Silverton, only 1 for the Bulldogs, but you'd almost like to see that reversed at this point. We're going to have a quick timeout.
Boy, timeout Silverton. Darren Shryock not liking what he's seen. 23 seconds into the second quarter, 21-7 Silverton. We'll take a break and come back at KSHO.
Building a home, remodeling, spring a leak? Think Brass Plumbing. Prompt quality service at affordable rates. Whatever your plumbing needs, including disasters, count on Brass Plumbing. Call 926-2727 for Brass Plumbing.
Looking to save money on lighting fixtures? Larry and Marge Tomlin, owners of J&J Electric, invite you to compare prices, but don't buy until you've seen the high quality and low prices at J&J. Visit their spectacular showroom. The hometown folks at J&J Electric appreciate your business. J&J Electric, South Pacific and 22nd in Albany.
920 KSHO.
Back here at Silverton High School, Ryan Pitts, Wally Ordeman, and Jeff Keiderer. Thanks for joining us tonight for Bulldog basketball. Silverton leading West Albany 21-7 with 7:37 to go in the first half. Farmers Insurance is the right choice for auto insurance, home, life, business, boat, and RV insurance, and a whole lot more. Your local Farmers experts are Roland Brower and Tim Finley on 9th across from Mark Thomas Motors in Albany. Go Bulldogs.
Ryan, what I was starting to say there when that quick timeout came was West Albany only one team foul. We're into the second quarter now, and you almost wish the West maybe a little bit more aggressive, a little bit bodying up a little bit more on Silverton. Maybe have a couple more fouls, but Silverton 5 team fouls and 1 for the Bulldogs.
Jalen Schlegel's first free throw, halfway down, came back out. So no good on the first. And a second one on its way, and good. 21-8, Silverton. Zach Angler will bring it up the floor. Out there with Gold, Roth, Bledsoe, and Susich. Bulldogs with Chad Sherwood, Brandon Dixon, Josh Bryant, Nate Sherwood, Jalen Schlegel. Gangler feeds Roth, trying to work on Brandon Dixon on the wing. Comes out to Gold, now to the left for Susich. Jalen Schlegel on him. Down low to Bledsoe. Faking to the corner. Works at the blocks. Comes back out to Susich. And Susich almost stolen by Chad Sherwood. Got it to Gangler up top. Gangler calling for a screen. Comes around to the left. Whips it inside to Bledsoe. A beautiful look for a layup. He wrapped that one around the hip of Jalen Schlegel and fed Bledsoe for a layup. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it really is. That's just good court vision right there, knowing where your teammates are going to be.
Nate to Chad. Lobbed into Jalen, who puts it off the window. And one good look deserves another as Chad Sherwood finds Jalen for a layup. 23-10, Silverton. Roth and Gangler. A little catch up top. Gangler. Again, using a Bledsoe screen, coming around to the left, looking inside, now comes to the corner for Gold, along the baseline through Nate, offensive foul. There to take the charge was Nate Sherwood, as Zach Gold picked that one up.
Talked about that in the pregame. Nate so smart with that and so brave. Locks his feet down and absolute right calls. He had great position there. Gets plowed into it. We're going the other direction.
That's now 6 fouls on Silverton. Bulldogs still stuck at 1. Zach Gold with 2. He stays out there. Joe Schaefer in for Bledsoe. There's Chad Sherwood on the right wing, guarded by Gangler. Comes straight away to Brandon Dixon. To the right for Chad. Jalen Schlegel's down low with a foot on Ian Susich. They can't get him the ball. Nate looking inside. Comes back out to Chad. Chad rifles it to Nate. To Bryant. Inside for Jalen. A little too high with the pass, and it's stolen by Silverton. Jalen Schlegel is posting up on Ian Susich. He's got 13 inches on him, and they could not find him inside.
You've got to be able to make that pass. You've got to get that recognition.
Gangler comes out to Roth. 5:55 to go in the first half, and Silverton leading 23-10. Roth trying to get around Dixon. Comes to the right for Schaefer, and are going to call a travel on Schaefer.
Shuffled the feet. Got ahead of himself a little bit. Right call. Didn't think they were going to make it, but they did. They did.
Sawyer Reed will return for the Bulldogs. Brandon Dixon will check out. As the Bulldogs with the lineup now, that was their starting 5 for the majority of the season. And we saw this 5 playing together more often on Tuesday than we had in a couple of weeks. With Nate and Chad Sherwood, Schlegel, Reed, and Bryant. Very quickly, Keaton Bader is at the scorer's table to break up that unit as Reed fires a 3. No good off back rim. Tipped in, though, by Chad Sherwood. As Chad's able to get through the lane, tap it in, the Bulldogs within 11.
Good defensive position, and they had paid attention to Nate and Jalen there to box them out. Chad had a clear path.
So the Bulldogs have trimmed 5 points off their biggest deficit. As Schaefer feeds Gangler. Gangler wanting to attack, now backs it out, now again puts it on the floor, pulls up for 2, splash. Zach Gangler for 2, and a little fadeaway on Chad Sherwood.
It's indefensible. He elevates so quickly off that jump stop that you can't get on him.
Nate up top to Chad, now to Reed. Reed looking for some help, picked up his dribble, comes to the left for Chad Sherwood. Chad guarded by Susich now. Comes back around to Reed. Reed scanning the floor, looking inside. Again picks up the dribble and hands it off to Chad Sherwood. Real aggressive defense from Silverton up top. There's Chad, tries to get around Susich to the baseline. Underhands it to Nate underneath, who lays it in. So that's a nice move there from Chad Sherwood to Nate Sherwood for a layup.
Shows you what that dribble penetration can do. Doesn't always have to be to the paint. That time the penetration by Chad down to the short corner draws 2 defenders and gets Nate open for the easy bucket.
Schaefer to Roth, now to Gangler again out top. Gangler doubled, feeds Roth. Roth Right of the blocks, dumps it in for Schaefer, and Schaefer lays it in. A lot of layups for Silverton, and Schaefer gets the latest one, 27-14. Again, good ball movement as West continues to converge outside on Gangler. Silverton able to find the open man inside. Lazy pass inside, stolen by Silverton. Roth up ahead to Gangler, thinking about a three. He'll take the three. No good. Rolls off. Rebound to Gold. Offensive board. Gold right back along the baseline. Lays it in. Attacking from the left side. 29-14 Silverton.
Absolutely no hesitation. Once Silverton decides they're going to the rim, they do not stop.
Nate Sherwood inside for Chad. Through his hands. Tipped and stolen by Silverton. Into the hands of Roth. Full speed. Roth all the way. Nifty reverse layup is good. And West needs another timeout. This will be a 30 again, but Silverton continuing to apply the pressure. They push their lead to 17 with 3.5 to go in the first half. 31-14 Silverton. Well, whatever West seems to do right now, Wally, Silverton has an answer, and they're looking spectacular.
Yeah, West just is not recovering well defensively. Silverton decided to try and spread this out a little bit and run a little bit harder in their transition, and it's turning into points. West not getting back defensively and giving up way too much in the paint. West Albany, the Bulldogs, they're so big that they're not getting back defensively and able to protect the key area. And right now, Silverton, they're not doing it. They're not doing it with bombs and threes. They're getting it to the rim, and it's turned into a lot of points for the Silverton Foxes.
West Albany fought hard in that first matchup back on January the 9th, lost by 7. Since then, Silverton's wins in league play by 18, by 20, by 38, by 26, by 26, and by 43. I mean, they are laying waste to the league right now, and West Albany feeling some of that wrath. They trail by 17, but a long way to go. Still 3:20 here in the first half. There's Chad Sherwood, takes it on the wing, looks to push on Roth, goes to the fadeaway jumper, missed it off front rim. Rebound Silverton with Schaefer. Not a lot of second chances right now for the Bulldogs. Gangler handles in front court, guarded by Engel. Bounces it to Schaefer. And Schaefer, with a series of ball fakes, puts it on the deck, picks up the dribble, and comes to Roth. Right back to Schaefer on the cut. Lays it up. No, and a foul, an offensive foul on Schaefer. Nate Sherwood there to take it again.
Well, that's just smart basketball. You've got to be able to do the little things, and Nate certainly stepping in there to take that charge is certainly qualifies there. When things aren't going well on the offensive end, you've got to try and create points by doing things defensively that give you transition and give you other possession opportunities.
Keaton Bader out there. Jesse Berkey is in for the first time. As Berkey takes it straight away, feeds Jalen Schlegel at the right elbow. Jalen pivoting, guarded by Schaefer, now drives his way in. Tough shot, put it up. No, but a foul. And it's going to be 2 free throws here for Jalen. Foul on Bledsoe. Fouls continue to pile up on Silverton. That's the only thing that's going against the Foxes right now.
18 fouls to 1 for the Bulldogs here, 2:43. If the Bulldogs get even cut this by 6, you would like the momentum going into the second half. Certainly don't like that point spread, but West Albany, they need to make a little bit of a run here at the end of the first half, give them any sort of chance in this game.
Schlegel continues to do a nice job from the line, hitting the first free throw. That foul was on Bledsoe, his second. He takes a seat. There's Schlegel, ready for his second, on its way, and good. Showing a nice touch tonight from the line. Good on a pair, 31-16 Foxes, with 2:40 to play in the first half. Zach Gangler to front court, bounces it off to the right for Jonas Dahl, who got hacked by Sherwood with no call. Goes to Roth, now to Gangler, guarded by Bader. Out to Roth, Jalen going for a steal. Roth hit the floor awkwardly. He's down and hurt. West on a fast break with Nate Sherwood all the way in, mugged and fouled by Dahl. And Toby Roth is shaken up in backcourt just now to his feet. Hit the floor awkwardly. And a couple of chances there, maybe for a foul on West Albany to start evening things out that never came, and that's what Darren Shryock is saying.
Yeah, I think he might be right there, too. Certainly could have justified hearing the whistles on that, but West Albany catches a break. Go down to the other end with a quick pass to Nate Sherwood, who draws the foul, gets to go to the line here for 2.
2 more free throws for the Bulldogs. Nate good on the first. Jonas Dahl just into the lineup, 6'2", 185 junior, committed that foul, his first. And the Foxes' 9th.
Got introduced to Jonas Dahl last year when he lit up the Bulldogs.
Nate's second free throw, no good. Keaton Bader tried to keep it alive and could not. Toby Roth with the rebound. Up ahead to Gangler, guarded by Berkey now. It's Gangler inside for Dahl, who's all alone, blew the layup. Maybe surprised he was so wide open. Rebound to Schlegel. Jalen through traffic into front court. Goes to the right for Nate. On a ball fake along the baseline through a triple team. No, and another foul. Back to the line go the Bulldogs. trailing by 14, but getting a lot of free throws here in the first half.
Yeah, the Foxes are stepping right into the Bulldog trap here. The Bulldogs going to win this at the line. 10 team fouls. The Bulldogs shoot two free throws the rest of the way.
Toby Roth picked up the foul, his first. He had Nate Sherwood to shoot 2. First one up and good from Nate. Chad Sherwood, Josh Bryant back in. Jesse Berkey, he's out. And also Jalen Schlegel will check out. Good minutes for Jalen and a lot of minutes here in the first half. Probably going to sit for the remaining 2:06 here in the second quarter. Nate trying to tune out the din of the Silverton student body. Cannot hit the second free throw. Rebounded by Gangler. Long ahead to Kirk. Kirk pulls up for a deep 2 and hits it. Preston Kirk, no hesitation in front court. Knocks in the field goal. 33-18 Silverton. Nate trying to attack. Lost the handle. Out of bounds to Silverton. Looking to skip through a double team. An awkward dribble. Could not handle it.
Yeah, I think just got his feet tied up a little bit here. West Albany has some substitutions. Nate was going strong to the basket. You like that because that's where West has been drawing the fouls, at least getting opportunities to score at the line, but that time just not able to make it happen.
Sawyer Reed checking back in for West. Ben Angle checks out. Foxes by 15 with the ball here with 1:45 to go in the half. Gangler guarded by Chad Sherwood. Again calling for a high screen. Crosses over, feeds Roth. And Roth back to the right for Gangler. Gangler to the cutting Schaefer. Tipped by Bryant to Schaefer. His baby hook misses. Rebound by Bader. Stripped underneath, out of bounds to West Albany. Keaton Bader continuing to produce aggressive quality minutes. Splitting a double team there.
Keaton Bader has just been really impressive this season. You know, he does a lot of little things that help you succeed on a basketball court. Always active around the basket with the boards.
Well, my prediction about Jalen Schlegel sitting for the final 2:06 is prescient as always. He's at the scorer's table ready to check back in. Waiting for a stoppage here as Chad Sherwood has it knocked away and stolen by Gangler. Trying to control the dribble in front court. Accelerating on Bader, and they're going to call a double dribble. Zach put it down with 2 hands. Good aggressive defense by Bader, forcing the turnover.
Well played by Keaton Bader. He gets to take a seat now. Jalen Schlegel back in for him. Really nicely defended by Bader. It was a tough situation.
They always tell you never to applaud on press row. I almost want to cheer for Keaton coming out there. Nicely done. So West with it, down 15. 1 minute to go in the first half. Chad feeds Nate in the right corner. Hounded by Kirk. Off to Reed. Reed with Gangler on it.
A lot of standing by the Bulldogs right now. Got to keep moving.
Yeah, not a lot of movement. Now Jalen Schlegel spins to the baseline. Little teardrop won't go. Nate tips it up. No. Rebound spiked into the hands of Kirk. On the run to front court. Kirk going all the way in. Blast through Chad Sherwood, and they will call a block this time on Chad, who was trying to take a charge and did his best to sell it. Chad does that maybe better than any other player in this league, and he did not buy it that time.
Yeah, he does. And I'm actually a little surprised. Even though it looked like he oversold it, I think he had the position there. But only a second-team foul on the Bulldogs. Keep being aggressive with that.
Gangler behind the back to Kirk in the corner. Back to Gangler. Chad going for a wild reach. No foul there as Gangler gets it back up top. 28 seconds to go in the first half. 33-18. Silverton with the lead. Roth gets it to Gangler, who eyes the clock with 20 seconds left. Again, one-on-one with Chad.
So many fouls to give here. Do not give them a clean look to finish out this half.
Kirk gets it, underhands it back to Gangler. Double quickly, gets rid of it to Kirk with 8 seconds in the quarter. Back to Gangler, near midcourt with 5, with 4. Sizing up Chad Sherwood with 2, with 1. Has to fling at the horn, way short. And good D up top by Chad Sherwood, forcing an air ball. That will end the first half. Silverton 33, West Albany 18. We'll take a break and return here to 920 KSHO.
The short drive to Corvallis will save you time and money. This is Steve Buckner from Wilson Motors, inviting you to experience the notable difference at Wilson Motors, 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis. Check us out at saveatwilson.com.
Need extra money? H&R Block offers the Emerald Advance, a line of credit up to $1,000 that you can start using today. No W-2 required. Stop by a participating office to apply or call 1-800-HR-BLOCK to learn more. H&R Block Emerald Advance, line of credit offered through H&R Block Bank. Member FDIC, participating offices subject to credit approval. Free supply. See HRBlock/Emerald Advance for details. 2012 HRB Tax Group Incorporated offered January 15, 2013. OVTP B15550.
Hi, this is Serena at your neighborhood H&R Block in Albany, Lebanon, Corvallis. Call us today at 541-928-6432 and see what it means to never settle for less when it comes to your taxes.
Making life easier and more productive, that's what Len Benton Tractor can do for you. And it all begins by discovering how the full line of Kubota equipment can help.
we're still doing business the American way.
Highway 99E Tangent.
Unforgettable 920.
We are back here at Silverton High School. First half certainly not going the way we had hoped, but a lot of game left to be played and a 15-point advantage for Silverton. 33-18 Foxes. This is just a little sneak peek of the stats that we'll have from Jeff Kiter here in a moment. He just told me, Wally, during the break, Silverton, up until about the final 3 minutes of the first half, had not missed a 2-point field goal. They were 13 of 13 from 2 to start the game, and that's a result of a lot of layups.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were saying in the pregame, Ryan. They are efficient, certainly, and that's peak efficiency right there if you're 100% from the field. But also the fact that they are not going to take necessarily the first shot. They're looking for the absolute best shot they can get. They're going to work it till they find it, and they did that to perfection there in the first half.
Did it very well, and there was a healthy dose of Zach Gangler, but Gangler was able to spread the ball around a lot as well, and he was able to find guys for easy layups. Schaefer and Bledsoe, the big guys from Silverton, able to get inside. And the Bulldogs, for long stretches there in the first half, really struggled to get the ball inside. And that is something we talked about a lot the last two broadcasts against Corvallis and South Albany. West had done so well pounding the ball inside. Silverton's kept that from happening really here in the first half.
They really have. And West Albany, what they found was if they could get a little bit of dribble penetration, either toward the baseline or into the paint, then it was opening things up because the double team was coming. You had to pay attention to that penetration and come help. It was leaving somebody open. But Silverton's so quick defensively. Their on the ball defense was solid. West wasn't getting that dribble penetration. So then it was perimeter passing primarily for the Bulldogs and looking for that one big break to get it into the bigs. West, I thought, when they were able to get the ball into the high post, was being productive there. They were able to get a couple of high lows. They tried a couple of touch passes that were ineffective and ended up in turnovers. You can't necessarily assume that those touch passes are going to be there. West has had success with that against other teams. Silverton's just too quick, and they're handling it.
Well, and here's the positive for West Albany. When they were able to get the ball inside and when they were able to drive along the baseline, they earned themselves a lot of free throws. I hesitate to think where this game would be if the Bulldogs had not been able to get to the line. The majority of their points in this game coming from the free throw stripe.
Yeah, they, West Albany, when you have that kind of size and you're able to get some inside, then you're going to draw some fouls. And I thought West did a good job at the line. I mean, really, it's the most productive part of their first half. Probably lucky to be at 18 points now and only a 15-point differential.
Still a lot of game left to be played, but you wonder what could turn around in the second half for West Albany based on the fact that Silverton has been able to do a lot of the things they did in the first matchup, get so much attention drawn to Zach Gangler, and then find the open man. And, some of their shots, I said a lot of layups. Gangler hit a couple of fadeaways. Toby Roth hit a couple of jump shots. Preston Kirk hit a jump shot. And it's not all layups. I mean, they're just very efficient. And when a team's that hot, it's one of those kind of shrug your shoulders and say, what can you do?
Well, you said a mouthful there. I mean, you have to pay such close attention to Zach Gangler because he can pull up from anywhere. He's got a great shooting stroke, and the dribble penetration certainly, but he can pull up anytime. We saw him look like he was going to go to the rim, pull up, quick elevation, and hit a little 12-foot jumper. Because you have to know where he is and what he's doing at all times, it leaves you vulnerable with the other players. And then guess what? He dimes you out right there, hits somebody else with a great assist. And I tell you, it's very effective. Where this team would be without Zach Gangler, well, Lebanon knows they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
But Zach Gangler, everything runs through him, and he's such an effective force that it makes this team very difficult to defend.
Yeah, you don't want to turn this into a love fest for him, but he is just one of the most spectacular players in the state at any level. The way he can facilitate the offense and certainly the way he can shoot. He hasn't had to take on as big of a scoring load here in the first half, but still nearing double figures already. A guy who can go off for 30 on just about any given night and has also thrown some of the best passes I think we've seen this year at any point, wrapping the ball around double teams from West Albany. It is 33-18 Silverton. We're at the half. Let's take a break. We'll return in just a moment here to 920 KSHO.
Serving the Mid-Valley for 37 years with collision, mechanical, glass, and RV repair, Pacific Auto Services is now Stavros Auto Services. Same people, same commitment to excellence. You've got their name on it. Call Stavros Auto Services at 541-926-7248.
If you'd like to do it yourself or need helpful advice doing it, your neighborhood Ace Hardware and Contractor Center can help. Economy Supply Building Center has been that helpful place for over 58 years. Economy Supply Building Center, where Highway 34 becomes Tangent Street in Lebanon.
Need some electrical work in your home or business, but it just seems like too small of a job to call the pros? No matter what the job, call City and Suburban Electric. Proud to be a contributing member of our community. City and Suburban Electric. Call 451-5609.
Lassen RV in Albany has the new RV models on the lot now, ready for you to buy. Lassen RV Service Department has a new truckload of parts and accessories on sale just in time for fall fix-up. From changing a light bulb to rebuilding your entire RV. No job is too big or too small for Lassen RV in Albany, where friends send their friends.
America's best music and the news you need. This is 920 KSHO, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.
And our great thanks for being with us here on this Friday night, the 8 o'clock hour. Ryan Pitts, Wally Ordeman, and now Jeff Kiter here with us. Jeff has our first half stats, and I already leaked the one stat that you gave me about Silverton starting 13 for 13 on 2-point field goals. A lot of layups were part of that. Put some jump shots in there, too.
Yeah, jump shots, but initiated by Zach Angler. He just seemed to be in total control. I don't want to say he was a man amongst boys, but that's the way he appeared outside. Very much in control of the offense. Nice flow. West Albany's got some work to do. So in the first half, Silverton is shooting 75% from the field, which is just amazing. They were 14 of 16 from inside the three-point line and a 1 of 4 beyond the arc. They were 2 of 3 from the free throw line, and Silverton had 7 turnovers in the first half. On the flip side, West Albany was 4 of 12 from 2-point range, 0 of 3 from 3-point range, and they were 10 of 16 from the free throw line. If they don't go to the free throw line 16 times, this could be a whole lot worse right now.
Yep.
The Bulldogs had 9 turnovers in the first half. Some individual numbers. Leading the way for Silverton is Zach Engler. He has 10 points, also dished out 5 assists. Toby Roth has 9 points, and 3 other players had 4 points. Joe Schaefer, Trevor Bledsoe, and Preston Kirk. For the Bulldogs, they were led by Jalen Schlegel. He had 9 points, also had 4 rebounds. Chad Sherwood had 2 points and 2 assists, and Nate Sherwood had 7 points and 2 rebounds for the Bulldogs. That's all that scored for the Bulldogs. So not the equal distribution of points for the Bulldogs so far. Let's see. Foul trouble. West Albany has 3 players with 1 foul. Silverton has a couple of players with 2 fouls. So I think they can be a little more aggressive in the second half defensively. So hopefully we can see that from the Bulldogs in the second half.
Got to find something. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
It's Jeff Kiter with our halftime stats. 33-18 Silverton at halftime. We're going to take a timeout. Come back after the third quarter here for you. Hoping for a Bulldog turnaround on KSHO.
Join the fun at the Albany Athletic Club. Group fitness classes from low-impact dance to traditional circuit training, plus racquetball and more. Watch your waistline shrink and your health improve every day. Start now at the Albany Athletic Club on Hickory next to Tom's Garden Center.
Albany Burgerville is now featuring the Ham Havarti Sandwich, all natural Diamond Ranch ham layered with melted Havarti cheese on a toasted hoagie roll and the chocolate hazelnut milkshake. Pick up an Albany Burgerville rewards card now. Cash for every dollar spent. Albany Burgerville, fresh, local, sustainable.
You will come out a winner at Power Honda. Their talented staff will show you how easy it is to get the vehicle you want and the payment you need. Check out mypowerhonda.com. Call 928-0122 or just go in to Power Honda, Highway 20 east of I-5 in Albany, your Honda superstore.
Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market across from the Heritage Mall has Senior Day, the first Tuesday of every month. $2 off every purchase of $15 or more. Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. 100% satisfaction guaranteed across from the Heritage Mall with bargains on the brands you trust.
920 KSHO.
33-18 Silverton as we get set to start the third quarter. Wally, the question was posed by some in attendance, and fairly so. Which Bulldog team would show up tonight? We've seen the Bulldogs very strong. I thought against Corvallis they came out and they did not show any fear. Playing in a tough environment, playing against a team that had dominated them throughout the years. They attacked Corvallis. They have not attacked Silverton here tonight.
No, they look passive, and especially on the defensive side, they've been a half step behind the whole game. against this potent Silverton offense here. They've got to come out with a little bit different attitude tonight, or in this second half. They've got to get a little bit angry, and that's the angry Bulldog team is the team that we've seen have some success. This is you can't be concerned. You can't be intimidated coming in here. They've got to start imposing their will on Silverton. If they can do that, they can cut into this lead in a hurry.
Definitely. Yep. Certainly have the capability. The Bulldogs, when they're at their peak, are among the best in the state. They need to show it here in the second half. Chad Sherwood looks to attack right off the bat. Shot no good from left of the lane. Rebound Silverton. So Chad did show some aggression there. Missed the shot. A rebound by the Foxes. Gangler in front court. Firing far right for Schaefer. He'll launch up an awkward-looking three. No good left rim. And Bledsoe able to tip the rebound out to Schaefer. Had position on Bryant. Kept it alive. Silverton with Gangler way out in the wing. Feeding Bledsoe. Spinning his way inside. Got around Jalen Schlegel and put it in. Wally, you thought maybe he traveled initially, but a nice move after that.
Yeah, he did. He got Jalen completely turned around and put it up softly.
35-18. Foxes match their biggest lead. It's Nate Sherwood straight away. Feeds Reed way out on the right. Reed trying to get around Gangler to the baseline. Reed works his way to the right corner. Comes back out to Chad. Now to Jalen. Just a step inside the arc. Down low for Nate Sherwood. Backing in. Got it out to Reed. Reed back out between the circles. Get it into the left corner for Jalen Schlegel. Tried to whip it into Nate. It's deflected and stolen by Trevor Bledsoe. Up ahead to Gangler. Gangler pulls up from the foul line for two. No good. Back rim hit the floor with no whistle. And a rebound to Chad Sherwood. Up to Reed. Reed ahead to Nate. Along the baseline, getting through Kirk into a double team. Out to Chad. Free for three. And good. And he needed that. Chad Sherwood hits a triple.
Really had some good time. They had Silverton had double team down low. Nice skip pass over to Chad, and he set his feet, got himself square. It's a beautiful shot.
35-21 Silverton. 6:25 to go in the third. Gangler to Bledsoe. Bledsoe into Gangler at the elbow. Into the corner for Roth. Around Schlegel on the baseline, laid it in. Nobody came to help, and Roth goes all the way in for a left-hand layup. 37-21. Reed to Chad. Down low for Schlegel. Nobody with him. Now spins it out to Reed. Reed will fire a three from the left wing and hit it. Back-to-back threes for West. The Bulldogs within 13. Near steal at midcourt from Chad, and are going to call a double dribble on Gangler. Instead, again, he put it down with two hands. Now Darren Shryock up off the bench and very upset. Maybe wanting a foul there as Gangler was trying to come through contact.
I'm sorry, I'm probably supposed to speak at this point. I'm watching Darren Shryock, and he is very animated in his opposition to that call.
Well, he's got, the coach's point of saying, hey, we had 11 fouls in the first half, and they had 3. What's going on? And now a call that could have gone either way, and now they're going to get a travel on Sawyer Reed up top, and Zach Gangler kind of some mocking applause. You don't like to see that. Gangler obviously is a superstar, but not wanting the mockery of the officials. And Toby Roth steps into a three and buries it quickly in front court. 40-24. Foxes go right back up 16. It's Nate's pass to the top, stolen by Gangler. Gangler lost the handle, spiked right back into the hands of Zach in the corner. Out to Kirk. He's going to launch a deep three. That's back rim, no good. Hustle forward in the corner, and out of bounds it goes as Schaefer will take out a teammate on the bench. Went right through Jonas Dahl. Or no, it's Cole Chandler, actually. As Chandler hits his back, and the Silverton student body applauding the effort by Schaefer.
Well, Jalen was giving chase to it. He decided to pull up. Silverton player knew that was going to come be West Albany's ball. Nice effort. Took out a teammate.
As Sawyer Reed goes to Chad Sherwood on the right wing. Now to Jalen. Spinning away from traffic. Goes in and dunks it with two hands. Jalen through the lane. Slamming it down with both hands. 40-26. Silverton. Most emphatic bucket of the night for West. Bledsoe the other way. Got around Jalen. Missed the shot. Rebound tip to Nate. See if the dunk fires up the Bulldogs. Chad Sherwood looking to go coast to coast. Stripped, and he kicked it out of bounds. Did he not? The officials are going to get together and discuss.
They initially indicated that it's going to be West ball.
It will belong to West Albany. I was concerned they were going to say that Chad had kicked that one out of bounds. Thought he was hacked coming through, first of all. Bulldogs will take it out of bounds. Down 14, 4:57 to go in the third. Bryant gets it out to Chad. Right side for Reed. Reed dribbles to the baseline, floats it up. No good. Tipped in by Nate. Crashing to the boards. The Bulldogs within 12. 4:45 to go in the third. And a timeout. 30-second timeout, and Coach Zimmerman up off the bench, pumped up. He likes the effort that the Bulldogs have given here so far in the third. They've cut it to 12 with 4:42 to play in the third quarter at 40-28.
Yeah, a couple of threes by the Bulldogs who got them inspired, and then a couple of no calls got the Bulldogs going. Their emotions are up now. We saw kind of a dull, complacent Bulldog team in the first half. The emotions are up now. West Albany playing a little bit more inspired. They've cut this to 12, 4:42 to go here in the third quarter.
Well, for over 50 years, Mega Foods has been offering the best quality and taste. More than just a supermarket, also a good neighbor. Mega Foods in Lebanon and in Albany.
Got an opportunity here been getting texts from David Kale. West Albany girls up 30-11 at the half at West Albany against Silverton.
Boy, did they look special on Tuesday night against South Albany. The Bulldogs undefeated, number 1 in the 5A power rankings on the girls' side. Of course, there's that Springfield team to mess with down there in the Eugene-Springfield area, but Bulldogs been rolling through the mid-Willamette. Out of the timeouts, Roth attacking. Lost the handle. That should be a travel, should it not? Gangler's going to get a 3 and hit it. Roth lost the handle, then came down with the ball. It should have been a walk. Gangler came out of it with a 3. 43-28.
That's a huge turnaround.
And the lob inside is thrown away. Well, everybody here kind of looking for an explanation.
Sorry, am I choking you with this cord?
Oh, you're fine. 43-28. And that's a huge turning point. It could have been a turnover. Instead of 3 by Gangler, makes it a 15-point game. Down near the midway point of the third quarter. Kirk's pass to the top is tipped right back to Kirk. Whips it to Bledsoe, now to Gangler. Gangler got Nate in the air, floats it in with the right hand. He got Nate Sherwood up, tipped it in with the right hand. 45-28, it's back to 17. It's Chad driving along the baseline, lays it up, no, but a foul. He drew the contact. Good aggressive drive down the left side from Chad Sherwood. He'll be at the line for 2.
Yeah, you can see that opening here. We had the perfect angle there on what Chad was going to do. You knew he was going to take that baseline. You just didn't know if Silverton was going to be able to get over, slide in front of him. He saw that he had the angle and took it. Goes to the line here for 2. First team foul for either team. 3:44 to go here in the third.
And Chad no good on the first free throw. Keaton Bader, Brandon Dixon in. Josh Bryant, Sawyer Reed out. With 3:44 to go in the third quarter. Zach Gould has returned for Silverton. Chad Sherwood's second free throw also off back rim. Jalen Schlegel fighting for the rebound. Knocked away from him. We're going to get a hold and a foul on Zach Gangler. Pushing Jalen Schlegel out of the way.
They're going to get...
They get Bledsoe?
Yeah, they're going to get Bledsoe for this, I think.
Bledsoe and Gangler both right there. They'll get Bledsoe his third. Gangler, I think, still just has 1. As Joe Schaefer will check back in for Silverton. And Bledsoe with the 3 fouls will come out. Brandon Dixon to inbound it on the baseline. Drops it into the corner for Nate. Nate trying to get it into Jalen. Has to come back out for Chad. Now across for Dixon. Dixon to Schlegel in the left corner. Schlegel back out to Chad. Chad lobbing it in for Bader. Bader, tough catch along the baseline, doubled, and he double dribbled. He had put it down once, collected himself, and put it down again. It is a double dribble and a turnover for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, made the nice catch, but it got his feet all mixed up, and the footwork's really tough down low anyway. Automatic, your brain says, okay, put the ball down so I can reset my feet.
Foxes by 17. And a chance here if they get a bucket to stretch to their biggest advantage with 3:10 to go in the third quarter. Zach Gangler out near midcourt. Feeds Roth on the cut to Schaefer. Got Schlegel in the air, missed the shot, and chased down by Zach Gold. Good positioning by Gold. Now a bounce pass back to Gold from Gangler. Jumper from the baseline, that's good. Boy, is Silverton efficient. Just maddeningly so as an opposition. It's Nate Sherwood. The end of the painted area. Throws it up, no, but a foul, and Nate will go to the line for 2. When I say painted area here in Silverton, that's anything inside the arc. It's the only gym I think we ever go to that has everything inside the arc darkened out. It's a basketball. It creates the circle around the free throw line to the top of the arc, and then it's all black everywhere else inside the key.
It's really pretty cool.
It is. It's a neat look, but it brings a whole new meaning to get it into the paint. As Nate hits the free throw, foul was on Gold, his third. Also the third foul on Silverton here in the third quarter. Bulldogs still without one. Nate's second free throw up and good. He's checking in again for Silverton, Jonas Dahl. For Zach Gold. Now Josh Bryant will take the opportunity to come to the table and return. See who he gets. It'll be Jalen Schlegel to check out. 2:49 to go in the third quarter. Silverton leading 47-30. West had gotten it to 12, and a call that we may or may not talk about in the postgame. A no call that went Silverton's way turned into a 3, and the Foxes ultimately pushed it back to a 19-point lead. It's now 17 as the Foxes have the ball with Gangler on the right wing. Straight away to Roth, to the left for Kirk. Kirk back up top for Gangler. Chad Sherwood right on him. Real aggressive defense by Chad. Silverton crowd looking for a foul. Gangler's going to rise for 3. Missed it to the left. A rebound to Bryant. Up to Brandon Dixon. Now to Nate. Step back 3 from the right side. Back rim no good. And long rebound to Preston Kirk. Kirk, quick outlet to Gangler. Gangler spins it out to Roth. Roth drives inside. Dumps it down to Schaefer. He floats it in with the right hand. Silverton continues to be red hot on 2-point shots. Schaefer from close range. Quickly in left the lane, it's Bryant. Now out to Chad. He's going to offer up a 3 and bury it from the left wing. Bulldogs are going to need a bunch of those, trailing by 16 with 1:53 to go in the third. Roth through traffic, deflected by Bryant, as it will stay with Silverton. There was nobody there, and I think poor Josh wishes he hadn't touched it.
Yeah.
Nobody there for Silverton, and Bryant just instinctively put a hand on it. Gangler to Roth, right back to Gangler. Fake the 3, drives in, puts up 2 off the window, and rattles it home.
How many times has he gone off glass tonight? Such a soft shot.
Everything he does just seems so effortless. You know, he never has a lot of emotion on his face. As we're going to get a reach and a foul on an entry pass to Keaton Bader. Preston Kirk came over his shoulder. We saw Gangler kind of mockingly applaud a traveling call earlier in frustration, but other than that, you never see him betray his emotions.
No, he just he's very calm, very smooth as he brings it. He just looks bored as he brings the ball up the floor.
Yeah, that's a very appropriate description. West will inbound underneath, trailing by 18. 1:33 to go in the third quarter. Chad Sherwood inbounds it to Schlegel. Out to Dixon. Dixon pushing right, spins back left, feeds Jesse Berkey. Berkey for 3. That's long, no good. Rebound to Jalen. Jalen tries to save it, and the only person there is Preston Kirk for Silverton. Up to Gangler and off Gangler's fingertips and out of bounds, right at the scorer's table.
Good heads-up play by Chad
Sherwood. It was, yeah. His presence
Gangler,
forced it.
Yeah, absolutely. Gangler had no idea Chad was closing that fast.
Chad Sherwood was right there, and I think Gangler turned, saw Chad, and thought, well, I'm either going to bowl him over for an offensive foul or I'm going to lose the ball. And for him, he did the better of the two. Just dropped it out of bounds. Brandon Dixon, a little hesitation move on Gangler. Into the left corner, comes back out to Chad. Chad around Kirk into the paint, kicks it out to Berkey. He'll try a 3 from the right side. That's an air ball. A rebound by Jalen Schlegel, and he'll put it back up and in. Bulldogs back to within 16. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. It was a 15-point game at the half. It's gotten to as much as 19. Bulldogs have been as close as 12 here in the half. Kirk to Susic. Up top for Gangler. 48 seconds in the quarter. Gangler bounces it to Dahl. Dahl into the middle again for Gangler. Working right. Schlegel with the closeout. Gangler got around him, and Schlegel poked it away. Picked up by Chad Sherwood on the run with numbers. Chad attacking. Feeds Jalen on the left. Got 2 men in the air. Goes to the reverse and puts it in.
Great body control by Jalen Schlegel. Got himself buried under the basket, but he's got those long arms. Able to scoop it up and under.
Jalen Schlegel having a fantastic night on both ends of the floor. The Bulldogs down 14 with 18 seconds to go in the third. Kirk out to Gangler. Brandon Dixon. The unenviable task of guarding Gangler, who puts it on the floor. Tries to go inside. Has it knocked away. Loose on the floor. Picked up by Susic, who fires a 3. No good. Rebound Chad with 4 seconds. Chad heaves it the length of the floor. Puts it high off the window. No. Kirk will fire it the other way and rim it out. Oh, my. Chad Sherwood heaved it with still about 3 seconds left. It came down to Kirk, and Kirk almost put it in from three-quarters court. At the end of 3, it's Silverton 51, West Albany 37. We'll come back for the fourth at KSHO.
Join the fun at the Albany Athletic Club. Group fitness classes from low-impact dance to traditional circuit training, plus racquetball and more. Watch your waistline shrink and your health improve every day. Start now at the Albany Athletic Club on Hickory next to Tom's Garden Center.
Albany Burgerville is now featuring the Ham Havarti Sandwich, all natural Diamond Ranch ham layered with melted Havarti cheese on a toasted hoagie roll and the chocolate hazelnut milkshake. Pick up an Albany Burgerville rewards card now. Cash for every dollar spent. Albany Burgerville, fresh, local, sustainable.
You will come out a winner at Power Honda. Their talented staff will show you how easy it is to get the vehicle you want and the payment you need. Check out mypowerhonda.com. Call 928-0122 or just go in to Power Honda, Highway 20 east of I-5 in Albany, your Honda Superstore.
Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market across from the Heritage Mall has Senior Day, the first Tuesday of every month. $2 off every purchase of $15 or more. Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. 100% satisfaction guaranteed across from the Heritage Mall with bargains on the brands you trust.
920 KSHO.
Silverton 51, West Albany 37 as we start the fourth quarter from Silverton High School. Bulldogs out on the floor with Sawyer Reed, Brandon Dixon, Josh Bryant, Jalen Schlegel, Chad Sherwood. Silverton with Zach Gangler, Joe Schaefer, Trevor Bledsoe, Toby Roth, and Ian Susich. Gangler, first possession here of the fourth. Pushing it to the right, into the corner for Susich, back out to Gangler. Fires it left for Roth. Got around Reed, pulls up from just behind the foul line and hits it. Silverton's just been on fire all night long, and Toby Roth, a big factor. 53-37. Dixon to Chad Sherwood, head and shoulder fake, drives in, finger roll, off front rim, no good. Rebound tipped long to Chad. Bryant kept it alive. Out to Reed now at the top, inside for Jalen. Spinning, right-hand hook, around and off, no good. Bryant cleared out, and a rebound to Silverton. Josh got pushed right out of the spot. He's up ahead at Susich along the baseline. Trying to heave it out to Schaefer. Lost the handle, chased it down along the left sideline, and feeds Gangler.
Boy, there are a lot of traveling violations that aren't being called.
Roth to Susich in rhythm for three. Spins out, no good. A tip by Gangler won't go. Now Gangler with a steal in backcourt. Goes to the reverse and lays it in. He missed the tip. Reed got it. Gangler picked his pocket and goes to the casual reverse layup. 55-37, Silverton. Reed to Bryant to Chad. Into Schlegel. Great closeout by Susich as he knocks the ball out of bounds. Ian Susich throwing his 5'7" frame around. Able to deflect it into the corner. It'll stay with West.
And you could tell that they've practiced that this week. That weak side help coming over against the Bulldog bigs, coming over and getting that double team. That time Susich able to knock the ball away. West Albany retains possession.
Josh Bryant feeds Reed. Now Bryant out to set a screen for Sawyer. As Reed looks for help and gets Chad Sherwood out between the circles straight away. Going left around Susich to the elbow. Comes back out to Reed. 6.5 to go in the game. West down 18. Chad Sherwood driving on Susich, got all the way in and lays it in, exploding past Ian Susich for the layup.
Such a big first step Chad Sherwood has. Takes it strong to the rim. No weak side help that time.
Yeah, no help there that time. Lob into Bledsoe, who got the tough catch and curls it in. The ball hanging tantalizingly on the left side of the rim. Curls in for a layup, 57-39. Chad looking to attack again. Got hacked, it sure looked like. Knocked out of bounds. Wow. Ian Susich tomahawking at the ball, and apparently they'll say all ball.
You know, usually that's an automatic call. When you see that hand come from up and tomahawk down like you described it, you're going to get that call 90% of the time.
You know what's funny, and I'll complete the point in a moment about the tomahawk chop here, because it's something that your son said in the freshman game that we were watching. As Reed goes into Schlegel, we're going to get a whistle now and maybe a little bit of a makeup. There's Jalen fouled on the catch. In that freshman game, Alex Pines, a freshman player for West Albany, came down with a hack like that. He was called for the foul. And your son, Perry, had him out of the game and immediately said to him, anytime you do that hack, they're going to call it. And he said, you could hear him across the floor say that tomahawk chop. Ian Susich just got away with it.
Yes, he did.
That second foul was called, though, on Trevor Bledsoe, his fourth, Silverton's fifth. It's West inbounds, long up top for Chad Sherwood. Toby Roth right on his hip. Chad feeds Josh Bryant at the left elbow, inside for Schlegel. Tough catch. Hounded, tripled, surrounded, goes inside, and puts it in anyway with the right hand. I've said all year long, when Jalen's right, there's not much you can do to stop him.
No question about it. Such great footwork down low. That time, nice soft baby hook.
57-41. Bulldogs, though, running out of time here. 5.5 left. Gangler on the right wing, splitting traffic, goes high off the window. No good. Offensive rebound. Gold puts it up and in. Again, and that's a direct result of all the attention paid to Gangler. There were 4 blue jerseys around Gangler Gold all alone for the offensive rebound and the putback.
Still inexcusable. Should never give up those offensive boards.
Ooh, and Jalen blocked and fouled by Gangler. Gangler did get a lot of ball up top, but Nate fouled with the body. Yeah, it'll be Nate Sherwood at the line for 2, foul number 2 on Gangler.
How about this? We got 5:13 to go here in the fourth period. The Bulldogs still have no fouls
in the
second half.
And 3 for the game.
3 for the game.
And Silverton, I believe, was 17 for the game. They got to 10. That's where the scoreboard stops, and I think they had one more after that. As Nate hits the first free throw. Keaton Bader back in for the Bulldogs. Schlegel out. This should be a brief rest for Jalen. who has been by far the best player in blue tonight.
Well, the aggressors, with 17 team fouls, is that what we decided? 17 for Silverton?
I believe so.
The aggressors are leading by 17 in this game.
And Nate's second free throw also good. He's done a nice job from the line tonight. 59-43, Silverton the lead, 5:10 to play here tonight from Silverton High School. Gangler feeds it out to Kirk, right back to Gangler. Worked on by Bryant, goes into the corner for Gold, right back to Gangler. Now Reed gets the defensive assignment. Gangler, a little skip dribble inside with a great look for Schaefer, and the layup is good.
Bulldogs have been vulnerable on the backside along the baseline all season, and Silverton just exploiting it.
Inside to Bader. Bader is stripped underneath. Pulled away by Roth. Up ahead to Gangler. Cherry picking a little ball fake. Missed the layup, and a rebound to Chad Sherwood. Chick Hearn would say too much mustard on the hot dog there as Chad Sherwood front court. Missed that off front rim, a three. Rebound to Roth, who was tripped and fouled. As Roth lost his balance, and Silverton apparently very upset with their 18-point lead. A lot of their fans up to their feet for the foul call. You'd see that anywhere with 4:33 to go in the game. The first foul of the half on West Albany.
Little mocking clapping going on.
It is funny, though, in a spot where we've always talked about how the Salem officials call it a little bit differently.
Yep, they sure do.
And we've complained about it many times over the years. Tonight, West has got the better of it. The Silverton fans letting the officials know they have not liked the disparity in foul calls as Gangler goes into the corner for Schaefer. Right back to Gangler. Out in the wing, dancing with the ball. Right-hand dribble, one hands it out to Roth. Roth to Gold. Silverton can afford to stall if they want here. Up 18 with 4:06 left. Pass is stolen. Jalen got it. Long ahead to Chad. On the run. Waits for the good bounce and lays it in. Measured his steps. Waited for the big hop and laid it in nicely with the right hand. 61-45. Bulldogs still, though, on borrowed time. 3:50 left. It's into the corner. It goes to Gangler. Fake the three. Drives inside. Dribbles it right off of Bader's leg and out of bounds. Still belongs to Silverton as subs come in. Jesse Berkey for Westy and Susich for Silverton.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Gangler's game is over for the night. 3.5 to go here in this game.
That would be smart.
Yes, it would. And
Quick lob in for Schaefer. All alone. And Coach Zimmerman just hits the bench and puts his head back. Got completely lost on the inbound. Schaefer lays it in. Silverton back up by 18. Berkey into Schlegel. Jalen with some space puts it in with the right hand. His big night continues, but it's going to be too little for West. They trail by 16. 3.5 now to play. Toby Roth in the front court, goes left for Kirk. Kirk bounced it to the corner for Schaefer. Schaefer darts inside the arc, now comes back out to Kirk. He wants to attack, bounces it to the baseline for Schaefer. And Silverton will pull it back out. Roth to Susich, back into the middle for Roth. Around Bader, pulls it back out to Susich. Susich to the top again for Roth. Now Roth wants to attack, comes back out to Susich. They're just looking for something easy now. If it's not a layup, they're not going to take it. Roth to Kirk, to Gold, there's a layup. And he takes it and he hits it.
Easy enough.
Yeah, that'll do it.
They spread the Bulldogs out, just kept rotating the ball. Can't get more efficient than that.
65-47. Berkey bumped and fouled. Well, what's the call here? There's been no call.
It's an inadvertent whistle. I think they were going to call a foul and then decided it wasn't. At least it would have put the Bulldogs in the line for a 1-and-1 with Jesse Berkey. Opportunity to score with the clock stopped. He just blew his whistle.
That'll belong to West Albany. Officials got together and said, I don't know, what's going on? Well, let's just give it to West. So we'll continue on as if nothing happened. Jalen Schlegel will inbound it. Hits it to Chad Sherwood. Off to the right for Reed with 2:40 left. The Bulldogs trailing by 18. Reed in the corner. Out to Bader. Underhands it to Reed. And Sawyer Reed needing to go to work. Here to the corner for Schlegel. Schlegel out to Chad. Lobbed into Bader. Bader with three Foxes around him lays it in.
Did a good job of reversing his field there. Another tough catch. Give him a tight end.
The fall's coming sooner than we'd like to admit. And maybe Keaton will get a chance. Oh, he's a senior.
Yep.
Never mind. Maybe at the next level. There's Preston Kirk. His pass is tipped. And Roth pulls it down, goes inside for Gold. Stop me if you've heard this one before. He lays it in. 67-49 Silverton. Reed to Nate. Cross court to Chad. He'll offer up a three and hit it. A triple for Chad Sherwood, a timeout taken by West Albany with 1:48 left. It'll be a full, so we'll do it too. Bulldogs down 15, 1:48 to go on KSHO.
We're Linco Federal Credit Union. Keep your money in Linn County with Linco Federal Credit Union. Enjoy a visit with one of our friendly staff at a neighborhood branch near you today. Linco Federal Credit Union in Albany, Lebanon, and Sweet Home. In Linn, you're in.
Family owned and operated since 1979, Crabtree Auto stresses the small stuff when it comes to maintaining your vehicle. An oil change every 3,000 miles is a small thing now, but adds up to big rewards down the road. Crabtree Auto on Hill Street, just south of 9th in Albany.
Now is the time to buy a car at Mark Thomas Motors. 4 generations in the auto business and here to stay. Mark Thomas Motors is big on supporting local events. 3 locations in Albany: Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Hyundai, GMC, Buick, Pontiac. Now is the time to buy a car at Mark Thomas Motors in Albany.
Just like the Bulldogs, Courtesy Corner Shell gives you everything they have every time you drive in. Fast and friendly service, windows always clean. Non-ethanol fuels for small engines, boats, and vintage cars available. You can't beat Courtesy Corner Shell near Queen on Pacific Boulevard. They'll be happy to see you.
920 KSHO.
1:48 to go here tonight from Silverton. Foxes have dominated throughout here tonight. A lot of layups. Something we'll talk a lot about in the postgame. Some breakdowns inside defensively for the Bulldogs. And the Foxes have controlled it. They lead by 15 with 1:40 left. And Silverton gets it into front court. Zach Gangler back on the floor for whatever reason, along with Toby Roth here. Silverton the game well in hand, putting their 2 senior stars back out on the floor. It's Roth whips it inside for Bledsoe. Up and over Nate Sherwood, could not finish. And the loose ball goes out of bounds to Silverton. Another unlucky bounce for West. Bulldogs arguing on the baseline. It appeared from here. Now we're about as far away as you could get and still be on the floor. It looked like it was off the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think it's the right call.
Gangler lobs it into Roth. And now to Gangler. Threw it up top to Roth. Now to Gangler again. Gangler guarded by Reed. Minute 13 to go tonight. And a foul given up top by Chad Sherwood. Rare foul on the Bulldogs. Just their second of the half. And now
the game.
Yeah. Second on Chad Sherwood. 1:11 to go. As you may or may not be able to tell from the way we've described it, it's been a frustrating night here in Silverton. As a turnover on the inbound, Zach Gangler stepping on the sideline. I don't know if he thought he was fouled or if he wanted somebody to move, but again, just a little bit of exasperation on his face. As the Bulldogs down 15, 1:05 left, into front court. Some of the fans behind us exhorting them to hurry, and they do need to do so. As Chad through the paint, missed the shot, rebound to Silverton. Kirk lobs it ahead to Gangler, cherry picking, looking for a highlight, goes all the way in, underhands it, up, got it, +1. Sawyer Reed did everything he could to prevent a fast break layup, and Gangler was able to muscle it up and in.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's strength, too. It takes a lot of strength to go up through that contact. Sawyer not letting go of him all the way until that shot was released. Gangler able to pad his stats now. Go to the line for the three-point play.
Zach Gangler has committed to Portland State. That's where he will go to play basketball. I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, we've seen him for 4 years. He's been a superstar for 4 years. I mean, even as a freshman, he was, I think, the leading scorer for Silverton. I'm a little surprised he's not going to a bigger school, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, you would absolutely think that he could, and maybe attractive to stay a little bit closer to home, and where his family and friends could go watch him play. But you're absolutely right. He's a tremendous talent. Not sure who is recruiting him, but you would think that he could certainly do that.
And Gangler completes the three-point play. And during the stoppage here after the make, wholesale substitutions, the Bulldogs will wave the white flag and put in fresh faces, all 5 of them. Ben Engel, Brady Young, Isaiah Edwards, Cody Lahota. And who is the 5th? The Bulldogs all standing, I can't see. Cameron Dixon is the 5th out there. And Silverton also with multiple subs. Jonas Dahl, Cole Chandler, Zach Gold, Ian Susich, and Matthew Willis all on the floor. 56.1 to go, 70-52 Silverton. Ben Engel into front court, feeds Brady. Now to Lahota. Ian Susich still very aggressive with the defense, 45 seconds left. Dixon tries to whip it into Edwards. Edwards with the catch right of the lane, comes out to Engel on the wing. Angle spinning, got it back to Edwards. Edwards to the curling Brady Young. Now to the corner for Lahota. Deep two from Lahota is short. And a rebound by Young into the hands of Gold. And we'll see if Silverton dribbles this out or goes for a layup here with 25 seconds left. Chandler to Susic, now to Gold. 20 seconds to play. Bulldogs will suffer their third league defeat. Silverton will remain undefeated in the league, and I'll be stunned if they don't finish the season that way.
Yeah, I would too. This is we haven't seen anybody that comes close to what this Silverton team can do.
And the Silverton fans, rightfully so, applauding the effort of their Foxes. They are no question one of the best teams in 5A. They showed it tonight. Final score, Silverton 70, West Albany 52. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap this one up from Silverton High School on KSHO.
Lynn Lanes in Lebanon, home of the best burger in town.
Good family fun. Bowling.
Open every day and until 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. Ballistic bowling starts at 10 on Saturday nights.
Stop by Lynn Lanes in Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank is proud to support local high school sports, music, and scholastic programs. Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, Vice President with Willamette Community Bank. Be part of the team and get behind our schools and our future leaders, serving you with branches in Albany and Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank. Service like no other. We promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Taking a detour down a gravel road isn't fun for you or your tires. Luckily at Les Schwab, along with great prices, all of our car or pickup tires come with the kind of protection most other places don't give you, like free flat repairs and more. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
The mission of Now Builders is treat every job like it's their only job, no matter how big or small, and they don't stop until their customer is 100% satisfied 100% of the time. Check out their portfolio of fine work at nowbuilders.com. Call Now Builders at 541-926-2858.
I'm going to guess that means that this is us back to talk again here. It is 9:20 KSHO. It is nearing the 9 o'clock hour, and the game is concluded here at Silverton. Mercifully, the Foxes beat the Bulldogs tonight by a final score of 70-52. It is a dispirited Bulldog fan base that leaves here tonight. We, I think, throughout the night probably came across as dispirited on the air. It was a suffocating night by Silverton. They stepped on the air hose very early in this game, Wally. Very reminiscent of some of the games that we saw over the years against Corvallis, where the Spartans would race out to an early lead of double digits and just keep it there. It's not a game that was going to become 30 or 40 points, but you could tell that this one wasn't going to go the way of West Albany. The Foxes just too efficient on both ends of the floor.
They dissected the Bulldogs tonight.
Good word.
It's just one of those things where you just got the impression no matter what West did, Silverton was going to be able to do what they wanted to do at the other end. You know, when you play a team like this, you want to impose your will on them on the offensive end, but you also want to take away the things that they want to do on the defensive end. And West didn't really do either tonight. They had spurts, they had stretches. The Bulldogs did, especially offensively, where they were able to gain some momentum on the offensive side with a couple of breaks that go the other way, and Silverton would just pull the rabbit out of the hat and with a couple of easy buckets. But it's really surprising to me how many shots at the rim Silverton got tonight, outsized by the Bulldogs, but spread the Bulldogs out enough that they were able to really dissect them and get a lot of shots at the rim. We don't keep a shot chart, and so it's impossible to know. But how many points in the paint did Silverton get tonight, and how many second chance opportunities did they get? It's just it's really a phenomenon because of this team not having nearly the size that the Bulldogs did, but they're so efficient and so very good at what they do that it's a recipe for a victory 2 times this season now against the Bulldogs.
What's disconcerting is I think we saw this really for the first time on a big scale back on December the 17th against West Lynn when the Bulldogs played West Lynn at Albany. West Lynn won that game by 26 points, and they did it with a variety of layups and just sort of lulling West to sleep up top, using a form of a back cut and getting an easy 2. No matter what they did that night, it seemed like they were always able to find somebody underneath for a layup. The same thing happened again here tonight. It happened in the first matchup against Silverton on January 9th, and it happened, I think, more tonight than it even did then. One after another, the Foxes were able to get inside and get easy buckets. And that often happens when you get a guy like Zach Gangler who demands so much attention up top. You have to try and surround him. We're just kind of chuckling. Coach Zimmerman a look of, what are you going to do as he heads off the floor? But you have to try and surround Zach Gangler. You have to try and get the ball out of his hands. And when you do that, it's nature that other people are going to be open. It's just that the rotations have to be there. Defenders have to be able to get to the ball, and they couldn't tonight.
This was reminiscent of the West Lynn game and those back cuts and all the damage that they could do along the baseline. There's a common denominator between those two teams, and that's an effective point guard. Mm-hmm. And when you're absolutely right. When you have to pay so close attention to that point guard and bring double teams on him and be so worried about their penetration of the paint, you're going to be diverted from your defensive responsibilities. Silverton knows that, and they play it to perfection.
Silverton wins here tonight, 70-52. I know we need to catch up maybe on a couple of breaks, so we'll sneak one in. But before we do, I will say that you mentioned this ad from Going Postal, and you'll receive 10% off your UPS or FedEx shipments. That's in North Albany's Hickory Station, your friendly neighborhood shipping center, Going Postal, offering UPS, FedEx, and U.S. Postal Services. Let's sneak in a timeout. We'll continue along here. Final score tonight, Silverton beat West Albany 70-52 on KSHO.
The short drive to Corvallis will save you time and money. This is Steve Buckner from Wilson Motors, inviting you to experience the notable difference at Wilson Motors, 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis. Check us out at saveatwilson.com.
Figaro's in Albany now has the ultimate super combo and the ultimate super meat, only $16.99 or $17.99 baked. Albany Figaro's in front of Fred Meyer. And ask about their gluten-free crust, 541-924-9303.
Making life easier and more productive, that's what Lynn Benton Tractor can do for you. And it all begins by discovering how the full line of Kubota equipment can help.
Benton Tractor, we're still doing business the American way.
Highway 99E Tangent.
Building a home, remodeling, spring a leak? Think Brass Plumbing. Prompt quality service at affordable rates. Whatever your plumbing needs, including disasters, count on Brass Plumbing. Call 926-2727 for Brass Plumbing.
Looking to save money on lighting fixtures? Larry and Marge Tomlin, owners of J&J Electric, invite you to compare prices, but don't buy until you've seen the high quality and low prices at J&J. Visit their spectacular showroom. The hometown folks at J&J Electric appreciate your business. J&J Electric, South Pacific and 22nd in Albany.
Serving the Mid-Valley for 37 years with collision, mechanical, glass, and RV repair, Pacific Auto Services is now Stavros Auto Services. Same people, same commitment to excellence. You've got their name on it. Call Stavros Auto Services at 541-926-7248.
Unforgettable 920.
Back at Silverton High School as the Foxes beat the Bulldogs tonight 70-52. For any occasion, you can enjoy a complete, affordable family dining experience at the Cascade Grill. That's on Knox Butte Road in Albany, Cascade Grill. Very pleased to welcome in Jeff Kiter here with our final game stats. What I'm not very pleased is to hear the final game stats because Silverton, as Wally said very, very well, just dissected the Bulldogs tonight. They found a way through the defense for layup after layup.
Extremely efficient. And I heard you talking earlier about how many points in the paint. Well, I did a quick check of the 32-point baskets. Approximately 25 to 26 of those were in the paint right at the basket. So lots of easy opportunities for Silverton tonight. Wow. Silverton ended up shooting 67% from the field. 67% from the free throw line, too. So they made 30 of 39 field goals inside three-point range.
Wow.
And they were 3 of 10 beyond the arc. Conversely, the Bulldogs were 13 of 27 from 2. They were 4 of 13 from 3 and 14 of 22 from the free throw line. The Bulldogs only had 2 fouls until what? The fourth quarter?
Yeah.
So, yeah, strange.
Yeah, a little one-sided with the calls, but unfortunately didn't help us out a lot.
Exactly. The Bulldogs ended up with 16 turnovers. Silverton had 12. And then to some individual numbers, leading all scorers was Zach Gangler, who just seemed to be able to get a shot anytime he wanted. He scored 23 points, also had 8 assists. Toby Roth had 16, Zach Gould 10, and Joe Schaefer had 10. So Silverton had 4 players in double figures. West Albany was led by Jalen Schlegel with 19 points and 8 rebounds. Chad Sherwood had 15 points and 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Nate Sherwood had 13. Sawyer Reed had 3. and Keaton Boder had 2, and that was the scoring for the Bulldogs tonight. So a rough outing for the Bulldogs. We knew it would be tough coming in here. It seems that every time we come to Silverton, it's a tough game, and we just have to get ready for...
It will be Lebanon.
Lebanon
on Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff. Now, before you take off the headset,
yes,
we got to do this every year before the Super Bowl. We need to get your pick, but I also need to know who you're rooting for, and I need to know why. I just want to know what your rooting interest is on Sunday.
Well, it's hard for me to say this, as I told you earlier, but definitely San Francisco, West Coast. I'm now a Jim Harbaugh fan, and I like the fact that LaMichael James is playing for San Francisco. Finally got an opportunity to play in the playoffs, and he's from Oregon in general.
Right.
Yes, the Ducks. But anyway, San Francisco 27, Baltimore 24.
Okay. You and I are very much on the same wavelength, I feel like, when it comes to these picks. That's almost identical to what I was going to say. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
It's Jeff Kiter with our final game stats. I'm going to give the headset to Wally. As always, I go last. That's the nice thing about calling the shots here, is I'm going to make the last pick. So, Wally, you've got the headset now. I want to know who you're rooting for. You need to know the score. I need to know why you're rooting for the team you are.
I am rooting not all that passionately. I'm not vested in either team, so it's not all that passionate a rooting job here by me. But I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Okay.
And I'm going to say 26-18.
Wow. How are we going to get there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
There may be a safety thrown.
Take some hijinks a little bit to get to 26-18, but I like it. Okay. For me, it's really pretty easy. I'm going to root for the 49ers. I think, like everybody else, when I grew up in the 80s, of course, the Jerry Rice, Joe Montana days, I liked the 49ers. I've always been a Jets fan. The Jets are the team that I live and die with, but I always rooted for the 49ers, so it's easy to root for the 49ers. And the reason that I'm really going to root against the Ravens, I've never liked the Ravens, probably because they're a thorn in the side of the Jets, but also because initially the Ravens came into existence because they left Cleveland. My mom is from Cleveland, and I just cannot root for them after Art Modell took the team out of Cleveland, moved them to Baltimore. They've won a Super Bowl there. I don't want to see them win another. I was going to say 28-24. Jeff said 27-24. Mine sounds too similar now. So I'm going to up the scoring a little bit, and I'll say San Francisco wins. I'll say 34-31. I'll still keep it a field goal, but I'm going to go 34-31.
All right.
Say there's a little more scoring.
And I'm going to jump in and say my reasoning for rooting for. I said I wasn't all that passionate about it, but 49ers. So that if the Ravens win, I wouldn't have to see. Right, if the 49ers win, I don't have to see Ray Lewis on my TV for the next half hour.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. I think that's a pretty popular opinion. Final score tonight, Silverton 70, West Albany 52. Anybody who knows me would also say, well, wait a minute. You can't root for the Ravens because they left Cleveland, but you root for the Thunder who left Seattle. Now, I'm going to make a bit of a stretch of a comparison here, but in thinking about the Thunder, and you always have to think about Kevin Durant, when you look at the way Zach Gangler plays the game, I can't help but think of the way when I watch Kevin Durant with the Thunder, and I always think to myself, why doesn't he shoot more often? The guy's the best scorer in the world. He can score anytime he touches the ball. Why is he not taking more shots? With Zach Gangler, you could say the same thing. He scores 23 points tonight. He's constantly touching the ball, but his ability to facilitate the offense, find open guys, 8 assists for him tonight. You hesitate to think what would happen if he shot the ball 25 times a game.
Yeah, it's impressive.
He'd score 40.
It's impressive, and it'd be fun to watch him at the next level to see what he's able to do at the college level. Because right now he is taking high school kids and just making mincemeat out of them. It's special, and that's the last praise Ginkler gets from me today.
Yeah, and the only reason that I think we continue on with this, we are obviously avid West Albany supporters. We root for the Bulldogs through thick and thin, but we can also appreciate good basketball and good athletes when we see them. And Zach Gangler, to be perfectly honest with you, I will not miss the fact that he's tortured West Albany. I will miss watching him play. He's a very special player.
Valid point.
Last point I'm going to make tonight, and it needs to be singled out, the effort by Jalen Schlegel. Sometimes tonight we talked about how the Bulldogs maybe did not have the ferocity that we wanted to see from them. The one player who brought it, I think, from start to finish tonight and deserves a little extra praise was Jalen Schlegel.
Yeah, Jalen had a special game. He was at the free throw line. He was getting to the line quite a bit, which means he was working hard underneath in the first half there. In the second half, his teammates started finding it a little bit more. He was able to get his hands on more balls and less tipped balls on the entry passes by the Bulldogs. Something the Bulldogs fought all night was getting the entry pass in. But I thought Jalen did a good job. He stepped up his aggression there in the second half, and I really thought it turned into some good scoring opportunities for him.
very praiseworthy tonight for Jalen Schlegel. Played a solid game.
This is an interesting perspective for me right now. We very rarely are face-to-face. We're in the front row here at Silverton. You're now standing on the floor, and I'm looking straight at you. It's an interesting it's almost like I'm interviewing you here. It's kind of a weird feeling. Final score tonight, Silverton 70. Oh, no, I like it. This is good. I have some questions for you in just a moment.
Oh, very good.
No, Silverton wins it tonight, 70-52. They make a big-time statement. Again, I'd just be stunned if anybody in the Mid-Willamette Conference could beat them this year. They really seem to be head and shoulders above the rest of the conference. It'll be interesting to see what they do come state tournament time. Our next broadcast will be Tuesday night at Lebanon High School, round 2 of the Eads Broadcasting Civil War. West Albany won by 51 in the first matchup back on January the 11th, so we'll hope for some of the same for the Bulldogs as they try to right the ship here heading down the home stretch of the season.
Yeah, good way to take away the pain if they can just go ahead and take care of Lebanon as they would be predicted to be, take out their aggressions a little bit and get healthy against the Warriors.
Silverton leading wire to wire. They win tonight 70-52. We'll be back with you on Tuesday. One final reminder from Lynn Benton Community College. Get started, get finished at LBCC. You can find them online, of course, lynnbenton.edu. Browse their schedule of classes there and see if you find something to your liking. Good place to start, good place to finish. We are finished here tonight from Silverton. Final score one more time. Silverton 70, West Albany 52. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Thank you, Wally.
Thanks, Ryan. It was great. We'll look forward to Tuesday.
And thanks to Jeff Kiter with stats. So long from Silverton. Foxes 70, Bulldogs 52. For Wally and Jeff, I'm Ryan. Good night.
If you'd like to do it yourself or need helpful advice doing it, your neighborhood Ace Hardware and Contractor Center can help. Economy Supply Building Center has been that helpful place for over 58 years. Economy Supply Building Center, where Highway 34 becomes Tangent Street in Lebanon.
Need some electrical work in your home or business, but it just seems like too small of a job to call the pros? No matter what the job, call City and Suburban Electric. Proud to be a contributing member of our community. City and Suburban Electric. Call 451-5609.
Lassen RV at Albany has the new RV models on the lot now, ready for you to buy. Lassen RV Service Department has a new truckload of parts and accessories on sale just in time for fall fix-up. From changing a light bulb to rebuilding your entire RV, no job is too big or too small for Lassen RV in Albany, where friends send their friends.
Join the fun at the Albany Athletic Club. Group fitness classes from low-impact dance to traditional circuit training, plus racquetball and more. Watch your waistline shrink and your health improve every day. Start now at the Albany Athletic Club on Hickory next to Tom's Garden Center.
Unforgettable 920.
Thanks for listening to tonight's broadcast of West Albany High School basketball on the unforgettable 920 KSHO. Bulldogs basketball has been brought to you by Economy Supply Building Center, City and Suburban Electric, Albany Grocery Outlet, Mark Thomas Motors, Courtesy Corner Shell, H&R Block, Stavros Auto Services, Willamette Community Bank, Lassen RV, J&J Electric, Les Schwab Tires of Albany, Lynn Lanes, Brass Plumbing, Crabtree Automotive, Power Honda, Figaro's, Albany Athletic Club, Linco Federal Credit Union, Burgerville, Now Builders, Wilson Motors, and by Lynn Benton Tractor. Listen throughout the season for more exciting Bulldogs basketball here on 920 KSHO. This broadcast is exclusive property of Eads Broadcasting, Unforgettable 920 KSHO, and Ryan Wally Productions. U.S. copyright law protects this broadcast. Duplication or rebroadcast of any portion of this program is strictly prohibited without prior written consent. We now join our regular programming.
You found us, so now tell your friends. America's best music is on the show. AM 920 KSHO.